Taco Tuesday is here, and that means that Aquarium Co-op is here with another live stream. I got up early today to take my mother-in-law to the airport, so it might get crazy. All right, today we're talking about where and how to find the good fish. A couple things from the chat from before. We always chat like for an hour ahead of time if you want to get some FaceTime in with me and Candy and sometimes Enzo and Dean and other people. You show up early. Anyway, one of the questions or someone had said, they were kind of feeling a little guilty for using plants they had propagated to set up their new tanks because they were in the chat. And I wanted to point out that don't feel bad about that. In fact, feel awesome about that. I will always encourage people, use what you have. You got a closet full of stuff and you can use it from aquariums, do that. Don't buy from us. If you can make plants, do that. Don't buy from us. If you can share with your friends, do that. Don't buy from us. And then if there are things that like, oh, you don't grow battery powered air pumps, well then yes, buy that from us, right? But I want to reaffirm that I've always been that way, or at least 99% of the time. I can always remember because I'm a big, you don't need to buy the newest and latest greatest thing if you got what you have and it's working. And I would much rather redirect money into areas that make sense to spend as opposed to not. So just want to start with that. Another person said, finding really nice fish has been one of my biggest questions. How do I know if I'm just overpaying for Seagrass Farms fish by ordering or going to a non-chain store? That's a good question. Like, how do you know what a good fish is, or how are they any different, right? So I want to talk through that. Now, finding good fish takes time. So just know that. So many times people are like, well, I saw this thing and I want to buy it today. The eel in this tank, the ellipsifer eel, I've had it twice in my life. This last time it took me 8 years to find it. Now, that means like once every 2 months, I'd be Googling ellipsifer eel. Does anybody bring these in? Is anybody selling them? And for 8 years, the answer was no, not really. Not that I had seen. I'm sure some came in, but I was too late, missed it, whatever. I had a life. Still have somewhat of a life, right? So sometimes it can be a long hunt, but you can improve your odds of finding cool fish that you want. Now, I think, I want to answer the question, how do you know if you're overpaying for Seagrass Farms fish or going to a chain store or a non-chain store? First and foremost, I don't believe there's such thing as really overpaying for a fish. I've said it that I think the most basic fish are worth insane amounts of money. I think it's crazy that we can even keep them in a glass box in our home. You might be going, yes, but I saw them over here for $5, over here for $10, and over there for $50, right? There's so many factors, you can't know which one's the good bet. Just because you bought the expensive one doesn't mean it's better. Just because you bought the cheap one doesn't mean you saved $45, right? You honestly won't know the lineage of most things. You won't know how well it'll do in your water most times. You won't know how good are you even at keeping it alive in comparison. And so there's a bunch of factors. So spending $5 if you're going to kill it, great deal. Spending $50 when you kill it, terrible deal, right? Now obviously, if I can spend $50 and it lives, or $5 and it dies, well then you got to decide, is $50 worth more than $5? Probably. You're better off not getting it. But sometimes you go, well, what about that $10 fish right in the middle? Like it could go either way. And so I think it's key to recognize what are the traits, or what could you see in person or online that would give you more likely a better outcome. So for me, what am I looking at? I've got a hierarchy, by the way, of how I look for fish. So I want to talk about traits I'm looking for, and then I'm going to tell you where I look. So the traits I'm looking for, are they breeding size? Are they adult? Are they too old? I don't want anything too old either, but are they, could I take them home and maybe spawn them today, right? I can see them breeding in the tank. I could buy that pair. Sometimes you might even be able to buy a breeding pair, as in oh, some other breeder has bred these and they are verifying that they are a bonded pair and will sell them to you. Sometimes you're picking it out of there's 50 in a tank and I want that one and that one. And I'm going to grow them out and I'm going to hope. Sometimes you can't sex them, so you're buying 10 or 12 going, well, I'll keep raising them till I get a pair, then I'll hope they breed for me, right? So I'm looking for usually fish that I could sex, are a little more mature, look good. Like if you're shopping for goldfish, like a goldfish this big doesn't even have the color it's going to have when it's this big. It can be, you could buy it black and it'll be white. You could buy it orange and it'll be white. You could buy it orange and it'll be black. It could, it could be calico. It could do all these things. And so usually there's a sweet spot, kind of that teenager to young adult age, in which picking out fish, you're going to start seeing angelfish adult coloration. You're going to start seeing how long are the fins going to get. You're going to start seeing some of the deformities or things like that. And so I'm looking for the best fish that I've seen. That's like my qualification of, I am now into whatever it is. Pick a thing. I'm into angelfish this week. I'm into rainbow fish. I'm into guppies, whatever it is. That's going to be you. You pick what you're into, and then you start looking. And you start going, well, does this look better than that? Imagine you're looking for pizza tonight. You can clearly go, well, I'm going to look at these pizza. Which one looks better to me? And you can start making decisions. Then you can start putting prices. Like, well, that pizza looks really good, but it's $100. That pizza looks almost as good, it's $20. That pizza looks terrible, it's $5, and it comes from Little Caesars. Gotcha. Yeah, so where do I start looking? I think that's a key thing. I like to shop local fish stores. And for those of you that say, I don't have a local fish store, I understand. We're going to talk about what you do. Don't worry. I like to start with local fish stores. Whether it's a mom and pop, whether it's a chain, doesn't matter. Fish get dropped off at stores every day. Now, at a Petco PetSmart, it might get dropped off and it goes into a free bin, right? At a mom and pop, it might have been purchased and now is being sold. Maybe you had Dean breeding for your store. Maybe it was just a drop-off. Maybe it was a 5-year-old kid with too many endlers, whatever. Fish come into a store every day. And sometimes that's going to be, oh, Corey was moving, because I've done this. When I move, I pare down 90% of my fish. 90% go to stores. Get out of here. I don't want to kill them while I move. And so all of a sudden, stores get all these breeding pairs and all this stuff. Now, there's lots of Corys and Deans and other people of the world. It doesn't have to be our level. It could just be you tore down a 55-gallon tank and you had a breeding pair of angelfish and you had some of these and some of these and some of these and some of these. They went to the pet store. You moved. You'll be buying new fish, but someone else can go, that pair of angels, that thing right there, that looks like an adult female bristlenose. I have a male at home. I can put them together. So local fish stores in person, because you get to see it, your eyes. There's no Photoshop. There's no AI video. It's you and a fish, and then someone to catch it for you. So I prefer that first, and I can't recommend this enough if you're looking for rare fish. Now, I don't spend for 8 years, I didn't look for that ellipsifer eel and only look for that. I looked for fish that I was interested in. And that might be, I'm still looking for metallic orange Variatus platies that I haven't seen in 10 plus, well now it's 12 years. Still on the lookout. But that's not all I look for. I've got all these things that I've seen over time. I've also heard stories, like Dean tells me about how in the 80s they had Bolivian rams that had bodies like this. I've never seen it. But I'll tell you what, the minute I do, I will buy them and I will pay almost any amount of money for it because we've never seen them as big since. Were they slightly different breed? Were they selectively bred that way? We don't know. But I amass all these things I hear about or I research about or I see into like a little mental list of what am I looking for? And sometimes you're going, I'm looking for a live bear. What kind? I don't know yet. I'm on the lookout. I'm out looking to see what's out there. What can I fall in love with next? And it might be, wow, a lot of people buy that. I could breed that. It might be that I've been looking for it for a long time. It might be like, well, normally I wouldn't buy that. But, someone mentioned in the chat where they bought a really pregnant Molly and they brought it home and they got a bunch of babies. I've done that a million times with live bearers. Where you basically just walk in a story like, I don't need that fish, but that swordtail is going to pop out 150 swordtail babies, and I like that color. For $8, $10, $12, like I'll take that fish. You take it home, you give it a tank by itself with some plants, boom, you've got 40 fish. Now, you may or may not keep it long term, but you now have turned one $12 investment into 40 fish, even if you sell them for $1 each, or you trade them, or you feed them to other fish even. You've done well on that deal, and you still have the original, right? So local stores are my first stop, and people ask me this, like, oh, well, I have to drive 30 minutes to my local fish store. Like, okay, cool. When I've been doing it, so before I owned a store, before I worked at a store, every month I would find the other crazy fish nerds around me, and I would drive from basically Seattle, Washington, we'd all meet up, drive 4 hours south to go to the Wet Spot Tropical Fish. We'd all shop for an hour or two. You go get lunch. Then you drive 4 hours back. It was a very long day. But also, well, while you're down there, you got to go to the World of Wet Pets. Oh, and you drove by this store, and you drove by this store, and you drove by this store. So it's almost like a whole day from you leave your house at 5 a.m., you get home at 10 p.m. type of deal. And that would happen like once a month. And when you open up yourself to driving 4 hours one way, you start seeing lots of fish. Yeah, I've seen that tiger barb every time. I've seen it. Wait a second. That tiger barb right there, I've never seen this green with, it's not longfin, it's only a dorsal longfin. Well, that's different. And there's a whole group of them here. Oh yeah, we had a local guy that was breeding, isolating that trait. Like, really? Now you could drive that home 4 hours, breed them, and no one around you would have them. You would do well with them, right? But you would never know that fish existed unless you were doing some of these trips. So you don't always have to go 4 hours. But when people say, like, well, I got to go an hour, like, it's nothing. If you're looking for cool, rare fish, you make those trips. And you can even find stuff that's very cool in chain stores. Like, well, let me see what they got going to this Petco or this PetSmart. Sometimes it might be clearance merchandise. Sometimes it's just like, oh, this got dropped off, huh? I've been looking for a full-grown one of these, right? The next level after that for me is local clubs. Now, for me, it is over an hour to get to my local club. It is also over an hour to get home, right? The next closest club is that 4+ hour trip. I have to stay overnight. I don't do that very often. I have done it if the speaker's good enough. I don't do it very often, but I used to do it more often when I was looking for more things. And so there's some states like Ohio and things like that where you have like 7 clubs in the state and you could do a bunch. But local clubs, local breeders typically show up and people bring extra fish and, oh, this one wasn't working out and all that kind of stuff goes there. That's another great place. I don't like it as much because you're looking at fish in a bag and they're stressed out. You're not looking at them in a tank where they might not be stressed out. So I prefer fish store first, local club second, and you might be sitting there going, I live in a state, I don't have local stores, and I don't have local club. Don't worry, we got solutions still. Those are just how I start. Next, go to events. That means you're going to have to fly there. And so typically as a hobbyist, I would go to one event every year or two. And my first event I ever went to was the American Live Bear Association in Florida. I live in Washington. I could not fly further and stay in the United States, right? So you fly on the cheap, it's $500, you split a hotel with somebody, and you buy really rare fish, and you fly them back home, or you ship them home to yourself, and now you've got that fish inside your state, and you can breed it, and then you can supply it to stores, you can supply it to friends, you can basically get to a point where you doing that will pay for your trip and you get to go to these events, right? And so whether it's an Aquashella, whether it's a Reef Works or a saltwater event that's got some freshwater coming in, all of these things, like there's a great event that I don't know, I might be out of town. There's one of the ones that I would consider would be going to the one in Texas. And that's going to be, I think it's 3 clubs, ALA, so American Live Bear Association, I realize not everybody knows that. the ACA, which is the American Cichlid Association, and then I think it's the AKA, which is the American Killifish Association. They're going to have auctions. They're going to have really cool fish. You also can sign up to go on a tour to see Charles Clapsaddle, who breeds some of the coolest live bears in the world. So you get access to that by going, oh, I just got to go to Texas. And so when I say travel to an event, sometimes you got to wait. I'm on the West Coast. Stuff happens on the East Coast. But every once in a while, like Texas, I could do that. That's not as far. I could make that happen. And so you have to pick and choose what fits your schedule. You know, oh, I got to go on a family vacation this year, but next year I could carve out the 3 or 4 days to go do this thing and bring back the fish, that kind of stuff, right? And then I would say the last way in which I buy fish, which is frequent, is buying online. Now, why? I can't look at them in person. A lot of times you've got doctored photos. There's things that can go wrong in shipping. The prices are just higher. And what I mean by that is, if you're buying 5 fish, it's cheaper to buy online than it is to fly to an event, obviously. But I get the fact of chilling with other nerds. I might buy 50 fish. I can spread the cost around. It's a vacation and not just paying shipping to get a fish, all that kind of stuff, right? And so I do like shopping online, and I do it a lot, whether it's Aquabid, eBay, Dan's Fish, which, by the way, use code Aquarium Coop, save 5%, right? Imperial Tropicals. Where else have I been buying lately? Buypetshrimp.com, where I get shrimp sometimes. So I'm looking on websites fairly often, and I'm looking for what is it I either haven't seen or haven't seen in a long time, or am I looking for, right? And that's all. This is a long-term process, by the way. This isn't like, what's going to happen is you can't watch this video and then go, okay, well, I'm going to look for everything tomorrow. That's not. You got to be on the lookout every week, every day of your life. Dean has been looking for fish for the last 45 years. It's, well, why are we stopping by this fish store? Because I haven't stopped there today. Like, that's literally the answer. I haven't been there today. Because you might know, like Aquarium Co-op, you're like, well, don't you get fish on Wednesdays and Thursdays, like from wholesalers? Yes. What day does Corey bring in fish? A different day. What day do other breeders bring in fish? A different day. What day do the plants come in? Different days. So every day, that fish store will be changing. And so you kind of get this like, well, I haven't been in there today. And so for sure, weekly, you want to stop by and you want to be looking, and normally online's updating every week and things like that. And then you got to be a little bit crafty. Like with Dan's Fish, here's the tech. I bought fish that don't have, let me make sure. I believe they don't have pictures on there right now. Let me look. So I've talked about this tip before because I'm willing to pay high amounts of money for fish. That's just a statement, because if you can breed them, you can always make your money back. Like Vienna guppies, I basically got 5 guppies for $500. I've probably made $5,000 off them, and they buy other stuff. And so that might sound like, okay, you just make lots of money. Like, it's not that. Imagine that you buy a pair of fish, right? You bought a pair of swordtails. Well, I'll use the example I bought from Dan's Fish. I bought a pair of swordtails for $150, right? Let's say they kick out 50 babies. I just have to sell each baby for $3. So a fish that I spent $75 per fish for, I just got to sell it for $3, and I've paid for it. That's incredibly easy to do when it's that high caliber of a fish. The tricky part is breeding it, but it's a live bear, so it's not even that hard. That being said, I still don't have babies because I keep eating. The other babies eat the babies. So I got to do some work on that. But pretty easy to recoup. I've also drove cross country with $500 in plecos from Wisconsin, I believe. Madison, Wisconsin, back to Washington. Took 7 days. I had to do water changes at different people's houses that I was visiting on the way back. I didn't breed them. I raised them for like a year. Then Dean got them. Now we bred a ton of them. Recoup the money. Put that into the next thing, right? So let me look here on page. If you go to dansfish.com, and at least on desktop, if you go to page 2 and you keep scrolling down, eventually there's the latest fish that have been added to the website but they don't have pictures yet. And so that's like a whole new level of finding the cool. Because it's easy to be like, wow, that fish looks amazing, I'll buy it. It's another thing to go, oh, look what they have here. They don't have pictures yet. If people knew what that looked like, they'd probably buy that, right? And so I do a lot of this on wholesale lists as well. Like, I don't recognize that name. Let me Google that. And then you go, boring. Like, so orange river snails. Like, I wonder what those are. Like, those, I'm not sure. Starlight hillstream loaches, not sure. No picture. Firefin hillstream loach. Cookies and cream hillstream loach. Dwarf gouramis, virus-free. If you're into gouramis, you go, that's kind of a cool thing. Then there's the cinnamon killifish. You can look that up. LDA 016 longfin orange calico bristlenose. You probably know what that looks like if you know bristlenose and calicos. It looks like they did get a picture of mine, the fish I got. But there's still a bunch, not a bunch, I would say there's like 15 to 20 fish always on the website that are in stock, ready for sale, but don't have a picture yet. And so you can find some stuff that you kind of get ahead in breeding and first to market. You can make your money back faster. And so there's still tricks even in the online stuff. Like if you're looking on Aquabid, for instance, you're like, well, I didn't find the library I want. Make sure you check the mixed lots. Lots of live bears get mixed in because you're getting, we'll give you shrimp, this live bear, and this moss. And they get listed in the mixed section. So each site, each store, each little place, you go there enough, you start going, you bring out all the adoption fish on Thursdays, do you? I'll be by on Thursdays after work. Oh, you guys always list your fish online on Mondays, do you? I'll be sure to set a reminder in my phone to check on Mondays, right? And as you learn all these tricks, you start finding, that's where this is at. That's where, I remember seeing that one time. And you start learning prices, you start learning qualities, you start learning all of these things. And that allows you to start seeing what is the good value for you. I put value in shipping, quality fish, not having losses. I'm willing to pay for more for all of that. Like one of my biggest pet peeves, if you're a fish shipper listening to this, please find a way in which you change this. I absolutely hate getting fish in the mail that the box is filled with insulation. Like, I get it, even if it's like, it's just cotton or newspaper or whatever. The fact that I have to like take the bag out and it's just making a mess in my room. And if I don't go rinse it at the sink, it then puts it into my tank. Like, those are big pet peeves of mine. I am willing to pay more for someone who doesn't insulate with that. So, also, like, I consider right now, to what I've experienced, I consider Dan's Fish to be number one in shipping. I also like Imperial Tropicals, but they use the stuff I hate. If they didn't, like they use a one-piece insulated box. I do like that quite a bit. This is not a one-piece box. This is a multiple-piece box. And what does that mean? Because I want to educate. That means that you get panels of styrofoam instead of, like a cooler where it's built that way, right? So Dan's Fish, you get the live delivery guarantee. So here's an important part that I want to highlight with Dan's Fish is expensive. Yes, and he's got great fish. But also, if you were to have fish die, they will also reimburse your shipping. Or they'll reship it. There's a lot of vendors out there that go, we'll refund the fish, but the shipping. And like I know, well, maybe you bought $50 fish and the shipping was $45. If you refund me $50, that doesn't let me buy more fish from you. That just screws me, right? So I like that. I'm willing to pay more for, basically, we're so confident nothing will go wrong, we'll make it right. That's what we do at Aquarium Co-op. I'm so confident it will go right that when it doesn't go right, we will just make it right. Because we do it right so often. And you might be going, well, I've had a bad experience. Like a lot of people, there's people that order from us hundreds and hundreds of times, and we're shipping 15,000 packages a month. I know our numbers. We're doing well in terms of like problem rate, right? So another thing you see here, this panel, 2 heat packs. Most vendors do 1. The second one really keeps a temp. Often, I receive fish from Dan's Fish in the 70 degrees still, even when it's been freezing outside. I had a couple times where it hit 68, but most often other vendors, it's more like 62 degrees because they put 1 heat pack, doesn't fight it off as well, right? The other thing that I like to see, no matter what the vendor is, I love to see individual fish packages. So I actually got this package today, by the way. And this held a Bleharai Rainbow. I bought the last 4 they had. Ha suckers, they're all mine. By the way, I bought out all the pairs on Imperial Tropicals, which they ended up only having 2. Then I bought out all of Dan's Fish. So I think there's still 4 or 5 single males at Imperial Tropicals, by the way. So just realize I'm buying it all up. It's all mine. I love this fish. Single fish to a bag, so 1 fish per bag. This single fish has been double bagged. So if there was a leak, it's contained. Not only is it contained, each and every bag gets a label. So the inner one gets the label. It shows you how many you bought, all the stuff they would need to know to make stuff better, right? Well, this is something new I just saw. I don't know how recently Dan switched to this, but I love it. They're now to a point, I need to water myself here. They're now to a point where they are printing directly on the bag. This is an innovation I have not seen in the fish world yet. Maybe people have been doing it. I haven't seen it yet, but they're printing your order. So I bought LDA 25 Pitbull Plecos, which is kind of a cross between like a Corridora and a Autosynclus, kind of makes this Pleco-y thing. I bought 8. They came from Tank 8A, Shelf E, printed on the package even. Still double bagged, right? Still double bagged. And guess what? So I bought 12 fish total. I got 12 bags, not a single death, not a single milky white bag. Sometimes you're like, ooh, they've been pooping a lot in there. Like, that doesn't look so good. They all look great. And so I'm willing, this box of fish, to ship it was like $45. It's not cheap. It got overnighted to me. I do like that. But, yeah. So I consider this to be the gold standard right now until I experience better. Maybe you're going, I'm the best out there. Like, let me know. I'll pick out some fish. We'll try it. And then I'll try one rogue where he won't know it's me. We'll still see if it's amazing. Because Dan doesn't ship it just this way because it's me. Everybody gets this, right? I felt like there was one other thing. Oh, the other thing I liked while buying from Dan's, and not many websites have this. I'm not sure I've seen it on another one. They tell you how full the box is. So I basically bought the amount of fish that would fit this box perfectly. If I added one more Pitbull Pleco, I would have had to pay another like $6 in shipping, and then the box wouldn't have been full. So I bought 8 and 4, which is 12, and it fit this box perfectly, and I basically maxed out my shipping for the $45. I love that because these fish bags, by the way, are different. Like if you look at the size, right? The Pitbull Plecos were about this big because they're not a nano fish, but they're real small. And so if you're comparing this size bag right here, bing, versus this one, depends on the type of fish. If you buy big fish, you get less fish in a box, right? Because the post office or whoever doesn't go, well, since you bought big fish, we sell big boxes cheaper. Nope, they don't. Yeah. Yeah, $45 for a box, you got to fill up that $69 box order from Dan's. The problem is, I don't have enough tanks, and I keep buying stuff from Dan. So I bought like the red swordtails. I bought 24 karat gold guppies from him, things like that. And I'm a guy that I like to hunt and peck. So if I go 2 or 3 weeks, a month, and I haven't found, um, I haven't found something cool, I get twitchy and I'm like, all right, screw it. I'll just pay for it. I'll buy it. And that's where, I'll buy from Dan's Fish or Imperial Trout or anywhere. I just start hunting and I go, I got to get something coming in. I just want to play with something new. I've got all these projects. They're all set up. It's going well. I need turmoil in my life. So I order more. And so what I do need to cover also, just because you think it was cool when you ordered it online doesn't mean you will be cool. So for instance, I ordered shrimp from 3 different vendors and I bought like 7 different types. How many are the good ones, Corey? How many are getting dedicated tanks for me to keep breeding? Ocean blues, the oranges I got, if they live, which is a whole turmoil story. If they live, I will breed out and see if it's worth keeping the koi shrimp or the stardust shrimp or whatever. They got like 11 different names. And then, is it just that? I think it's just that. So I got other reds I don't care for. I got yellows I don't really care for. Yeah, it's mostly those. I mean, there's some others too. I got those from local clubs. So from local club, I got Malawi shrimp, which I do have a tank dedicated to those, and I got tiger shrimp. But I could see those before I bought them, so I don't really count that as like, well, you don't know. How good are they going to be? I'm turning my heat down in here. It's hot. Right now the fish room's heating itself when I want it to cool itself. I'm getting hot in here. So I'm turning it to cool. All right, fish room, cool. So, sorry. There we go. All right, now we're good. I need another 10-gallon rack. Funny you should say that. I am currently setting up a fry system because I've got too many fry. I've got different 10 gallons with rainbow fry. I've got rosy barb fry. I've got orange laser corridora fry. So I'm starting to run out of fry tanks. So I need ways to like hatch them out, get them similar size, keep them together in tanks so that I can save space. So, yeah. That's so it took me 30 minutes to basically explain how are you finding the good stuff, because why did I talk about this? People are asking in the comment section, where'd you find that? How do you get that? And you can't just say, oh, I found it here, because they're like, well, they're sold out, or this or that. You have to go, well, I've been looking, I'm always on the lookout, and I found this, and therefore I know that I want this. So for instance, Corey, why did you buy Casey or Madman? Or girl. Could be either. Casey, thank you for the gifted memberships. You've gifted 10 today so far that I've seen. Some other people have gifted some too. I appreciate it. But I want to use knowledge like I know from talking and visiting Gary Lang. So, for instance, Gary Lang was one of the stops. I stayed at his house overnight on the way back from getting those $500 plecos at the Madison, Wisconsin CatCon, right? Well, I learned that when he goes and collects rainbows in the wild, he brings them home and he breeds them, and then he supplies farms. And one of the farms that he supplies is Imperial Tropicals, right? And so Imperial Tropicals got those breeders, and they're breeding them out in ponds, so I know I can get pretty pure stock by buying from Imperial Tropicals because I know the connections. And they came in. So I bought 3 pairs. 1 pair of this, 1 pair of this, 1 pair of this. And they came in amazing. So then I re-upped and was like, I need 10 of this. I ended up trying to buy 10 pairs of one. And then like 3 pairs and 3 pairs. Turns out I got 3 pairs, and 2 pairs, I think. But I used all that knowledge over time. This is a thing where it's like I learned this 10 years ago from Gary Lang, and I put it into practice today, or a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was. So it's not a quick thing. It's you amass it over time. Yeah. $500. Were they zebra plecos? No, they were the $397 candy stripe plecos at the time when I bought them. Very hard to get a hold of in America. So much so that other catfish nerds bid me up to $500 because one of the speakers from Europe had brought them with them to auction them. So now you could pretty much pick them up for under $100, probably like $75. But they're still an amazing fish. Love them. In fact, I've got babies. They never come out for me on camera, but well, I call them babies. They're like this big now. But I gave them to Dean to breed, and then he made babies, and I was like, hey, let me get some of those back, because he was thinking about maybe getting rid of them, and it's like, well, if you're getting rid of them, I need them. Like, I love this fish. I got the fish because I love it. I didn't get it just to, like, sell. I don't really get fish just to sell. I got to really like it, and then I'll breed it and I'll sell it, but I won't just buy to sell typically. I got to have some, like, yeah, I'm enjoying that too. I want that in my life. Let's see. Yo, that goldfish talk was fire. Oh, I thought you were saying yo-yo loach. I was like, yo-yo loach is goldfish? I don't know. Makes me want to hit up some Ranchu goldfish. Are there any common major issues with Ranchus? Yes, all fancy goldfish, they basically can be derpy and have, could be swim bladder problems, could be genetic deformities, could be things, but they're rewarding. I myself made a whole video on how I won't keep fancy goldfish anymore because I don't feel like I have the dedicated time, and I want to have like a dedicated breeder or somebody that I think is working with them and not just buying the rejects. What does that mean, Corey? Anyone who's really into goldfish is spending $500 plus per fancy goldfish. And when you're buying a fancy goldfish at $30 or less, you're just getting the ones that have been cold to, like, yeah, the parents are amazing, but these guys, they've got bent fins and genetics and this problem and this color and that. And so when you're in year 3 and you're like, yeah, I'm really struggling with this, like, yeah, you bought the one that was really struggling, and that's why it was $30 instead of $300 or $500 or $1,000. So that's what's to know about, Ranchus and lion heads and Arandas, and there's a million, like, oh, what about the ping pong looking ones? What about the celestial eyes? What about the bubble eye? What about? If you're usually, this is just broad thing. If you're not spending big bucks on fancy goldfish, you're probably buying mostly problems. With every once in a while you get lucky and you're like, this is a great fish at a cheap price. Now, if you're into single-tailed goldfish, comets, shabunkins, mostly like whether it's just a common Sarasa, shabunkin, that kind of stuff, they pretty much don't have problems. They're just kind of bulletproof. So I really like keeping those, and I will keep those. Let's see here. What's the holy grail fish that you currently are on the lookout for? What am I looking for right now? I don't think it's fish. It's mostly shrimp. I'm in a shrimp moment. At the moment. Trying to think. What would I be on the lookout for? There's all these things where if I saw, like, oh, I'd buy that. But I'm trying to think of, like, is there something that I'm going out of my way to Google? Because there's a big difference. Like, what am I Googling and we're looking for actively? And then what is like, oh, I was on the website and I saw that. Ooh, I'd buy that. Well, no, that's not true. I do know, don't buy them. Don't buy them out from under me. I don't know who has them, but don't buy them. I do know that I want to find, and I don't even know what traits I'm looking for yet, exactly. I want to find who's got the best looking cherry barbs on the planet. And in my experience, I'm like, well, I know I like the veil tail fin. I don't think I like the albino veil tail fins as much as I like just the veil tail. Who's got the biggest, juiciest, reddest male veil tail cherry barb and good looking females? I want to spawn those and just have a bunch. And then, yeah, my store, my club, and all that too. Yes, but that's what I'm on the lookout for. I'm going to be starting to size up, and might take me a year. And people are going to be like, you're insane. And then all of a sudden, you see good fish, and you know it when you see it. Like, people ask me all the time, I keep your eye out. I'll tell, like Benete, I was saying, keep your eye out for this shrimp. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Like, what are you looking for? And I go, you know it when you see it. I travel the world. He travels the world too. And, well, before I go on, I have to, Carlos Valera, long time no talk and see, buddy. Been a long time. I hope things are going well for you in Puerto Rico. But traveling the world, you see a million of a fish. You just, yeah, I see it. I've been to 10 different farms. They breed that, blah, blah. And eventually you stumble upon that fish right there is better than any specimen I've ever seen. Those are the best. And so, like, Greg Sage has the best trout goodeids. He has the best Odessa barbs, right? And then you might know that, I'm trying to think of another thing that I just like, I know. But you end up having different sources and different people with the best ones you've ever seen, right? And so, but when you see it, you know it. You're like, oh yeah, I would buy that fish. And normally it's a fish where I'm like, yeah, I don't know, that fish is okay. But if I see it in person and it blows me away, I have to have it. And it could be an African cichlid. It doesn't matter. When you see a fish, to having different conversations with different people, but talking with another person about finding a home. They're looking to buy a home. And I say, you'll know the home you need to buy when you know you can't live without it, and you will leverage everything you have to get it. Now, hopefully you won't have to. But the fact that you're like looking in the couch cushion, do you have another $1.50 that you could put towards the bid to get this house? That's how you know it's the one. That's also how I know the fish is the one. When I don't ask what the price is, I see this when I visit things around the world. I go, ooh, what would it take? Are these for sale? Oh, too expensive to get back to your country. No. I will pay any price. And then they're like, well, okay, yeah, it'd be $1,000. Like, deal. That's how I know you've got the best, when you're willing to pay anything. So often you're willing to pay anything, and then you go, oh, $100? I would easily pay $100. You got six good, the best cherry barbs I ever seen. $100. I probably got 5. I probably have $600. I probably got $600 if you have the world's best cherry barbs that everybody looks at and goes, wow. Kind of like the rosy barbs I got off our forum, right? People see it in the video and they go, that one, where'd you get that one? That pair right there, best fins I've ever seen. The red is so intense. Like, yeah, I got them from a local, or not a local, but a breeder on our forum, which, by the way, if you didn't know, if you become a member, not a member, if you use the forum after a certain amount of posts, you can buy, sell, and trade fish on the forum. You can get access to stuff that other fish nerds have been coveting and making better. And then they go, well, and the thing is, the true fish hoarders, they actually don't even sell. They, like Dean and some other people, Dean won't sell you a fish. You can be like, I got $100, Dean. He goes, I don't need money. No, I sell the aquarium co-op. He will trade you. You have a fish. And I see him do it at the clubs because he doesn't want the money because he sells those stores. But if you have a fish that he'd be interested in. So like last time I watched him trade stuff for Bolivian rams because I said, Dean, I love Bolivian rams. We need to breed Bolivian rams. Like, make it easier on yourself. You're traveling a lot. German blue rams, too much work. Breed Bolivian rams. He traded for an adult group of Bolivian rams. And I think he traded like 397 plecos for them. The trade was massively in the favor of the person with the Bolivian rams, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? So again, it's that whole willing to pay anything. Very often, if you can make a fish, let's say you're making the world's best cherry barbs, and maybe I'm making, what do I make that people would want? I don't know. What do I have that people would really kill for right now? Let's say I bred the platinum mollies, which they have not kicked out a single baby yet, by the way. How dare you? But let's say I had those. You might be willing to make a 1-for-1 trade because you're like, well, it's so hard to actually put like the importing and the money to get those. Brutal. So you'd 1-to-1 trade. And so a lot of times money won't make the transaction happen. It's like, no, what do you got that I want? And yeah, I don't know how I even went down that tangent, but oh, holy grail fish. I'm looking for world's best cherry barbs right now. That's what I'm looking for. And as my wife said, three-legged long-haired chihuahuas. I'll take all those too. I got my prey cocks from Dean, actually because of you, Corey. Nice. I found a Therichtes cichlid. I've never found another one around here from where I'm from, but mine is almost a mature adult. Therichtes, isn't that like, I want to, this is an area where I struggle, but isn't that like in the, yeah, I was gonna say firemouth family. Yeah. So in that line of fish, there's lots of different Therichtes. So it depends on which one you got, but I'm obsessed with candy cane tetras. They're so pretty. Joey at the store, it's his favorite tetra. He sells them all day long because he loves candy cane tetra. I see them and I just go, yeah, they're cool. Yeah. You know, for some reason I don't lose it. I will say Dan's Fish got a fish that I wish I had, but I won't pay the price. Too rich for my blood, even. These peppermill tetras he's got look awesome. They are just, they're basically $40 more than I'm willing to pay for them each. So someone's going to get them, and I'm going to see them, and I'm going to go, wow, those are really cool. Dang, I wish I had them. But my goal is always, hopefully someone breeds them and makes them more affordable. Like that's always my big term goal for me is, yeah, I spend the big money, then I breed them, then they're less money, and if more and more and more and more people do it, pretty soon they're cheap. And I love that. Start with powder for rainbow fish fry. I'll let you know a little secret. If you grind up the magic fish feed, that powder does really well for rainbow fish fry also, which, testing. I'm basically spawning more and more stuff and raising it solely on magic fish feed, just so I can be like, yes, you can 100% do that. So like the next video that'll come out will be from egg, well actually it's from spawning adult orange laser corridores to egg to wiggler to juvenile to now they're in a 10-gallon tank and they've only ever eaten magic small fish feed. So just wanted to prove it could be done, and then because I want to prove it to myself, but also just show other people like literally you could just do it. It's literally only ever eaten that, never seen any other food. They look great. They're doing amazing. Boom. How much magic fish feed am I feeding? Watch the last video. Put it out last week. A lot. A lot. I just got my first magic fish feed and all my fish went bonkers for it. Yep. I did learn something, by the way. I learned that our fish food was delayed a little bit because they accidentally printed, they don't print. In my mind, you're printing, like packaging and stuff. They made the magic small fish feed, but it wasn't the mid-water floating version. It was the sinking version. Because they've got different versions that, and it takes longer to get that mid-water floating version. And so that actually delayed why they're not here yet, basically. Like, dang it. But we'd rather have it correct, so. That's how I feel about the Vulcan Corays. $500 is a bit much for me when I need 6 to 8 minimum. I'm waiting for others to breed them more. Yeah. And so my thing is, Julian, usually you can wait 2 or 3, like 3 to 5 years. Whatever is hot right now will be, maybe they're $50 or they're $30 in 5 years. And then you can get a group. You're like, hey, I got a group of them for $200. And then you breed them for a while. And then, everything settles at some point. And maybe like, yeah, they're never going to be less than $20. Okay, yeah, it takes a lot of food, a lot of time to raise them, all that. I get it. But yeah, not everybody has to have all the fish all the time, all at once, as much as we think we do. But, most people got a lot of years they keep aquariums in them. So not a race. It's, yeah, that was, I'm doing a talk at the Keystone Clash, and it's basically how to not burn out in the hobby and all these things. And, really the overarching principle will be like, it's not a race, it's a marathon. Like, the person that wins is the person that stays in the hobby the longest. So the longer you go having fun, you're winning. Dean is like, he's an Olympian when it comes to enjoying the hobby. Yes, he breeds fish. Yeah, he does stuff. But 45 years, I've known Dean for like 15 years now, and I've never seen him where he wasn't like, you want to go to the fish store? You want to go look? Have you seen the thing? Have you seen, like, he's always in. He's into it. He wants to do it. He wants to volunteer. We could do that. Let's do it. That looks fun. I'm into it. Always, always, always. I'm pretty sure that guy's like passing a kidney stone, and he's like, the fish store. Let's go there. The minute I'm done dying over here, we're going to the fish store. He's always into it. And so I think that's a very important thing is we look at time and we look in the short term without looking in the long term of like, the reality is you probably have many, many, many more years to wait to get it to, yeah, those corridors are $500 now, but this fish over here you like there's a totally valid chance I will find the best veil tail cherry barbs on the planet that I've ever seen, and they'll be $7 each, and I will buy them. Like, because not too many people are going, oh yeah, cherry barbs, big money. Nobody's thinking that. And so probably going to be real cheap. A marathon is a race. For some people. Most people, it's a commitment to themselves for a marathon. Can I force myself to do this thing that sucks long enough to say I did it? That's what most people are doing marathons for. What are my thoughts on water changes with pythons? Is it okay to dechlorinate after the water's in the tank, or better to add it in the bucket and dechlorinate it first? I've always been a person that gets the water flowing, then I put dechlorinator in. So maybe 10 gallons of non-dechlorinated water is hitting it as I'm adding the dechlorinator and letting it mix up, and that's always worked well for me. That's been my play every time. I just bought a candy koi betta yesterday. That's what got me into fish keeping in 2020. Nice. Rewind 5-6 years. Candy koi bettas, $80. Real expensive. Fast forward 5 years, $20. Time makes everything cheaper. Well, that's not true. It can. What's hot now won't be hot. And then, so the cycles with fish, they usually go crazy new hotness. Everybody's got them. Nobody wants them. And then it's like a year later, hey, where'd those go? I want some. Nobody's got them. Uh-oh. Does anybody got them? And then you like got to hunt for them. And then so it kind of always this boom bust cycle. Oh, way too many. Not enough. Way too many. As a hobby, we're really bad at moderation of like, yeah, we've seen 100 of these a year. Like, that's what we need. I wanted to also tell a story about how you can get crazy good fish, even from like Petco, PetSmart, and wholesalers. So at one point, well, I wanted to say how it works. So when you're supplying like a Walmart, a Petco, there's contracts, right? And so Petco or PetSmart, whoever basically goes, we'll buy this many fish this week, and we'll pay this price, but you have to guarantee you will have them every week. Well, since it's a contract, if they don't have it, so let's say like, oh no, we can't get them in from another country, and the specific thing that we got called up on, I remember they called us up and they go, hey, do you have any rosy barbs? We're buying them at $5 each. And I was like, what? That's like retail. And they're like, yeah, we have to fulfill the contract. We'll buy all you have at $5. I'm like, well, I don't have any, but they were willing to buy them at retail because the clauses in the contract were so detrimental, they had to fill. And so Normally the wholesaler's got to fill like 30 Petcos at a time. So it's like, okay, we need 150 this week or whatever, right? And so where am I going with that? Well, you could have, like, if you had me or Dean or anybody local breeding rosy barbs, and now they're at the store, and the Petco wholesaler buys them all, and then now they end up in your local chain store. That's why you can find amazing stuff even in a chain store. I fell in love with one of my favorite fish, the Variatus platy. I originally bought them from PetSmart, and they were in a cleaning client. I cleaned their aquarium. I bought them, brought them there. They looked amazing. I fell in love with them. I started bringing babies home to my tanks. They still sell them. They're still super cheap. You can go buy them. Love that fish. And so not always is it like, oh, they don't have good fish. Like sometimes they do. Sometimes they literally do have good fish. But you got to be on the lookout for them. And if you're not looking, you can't find what you're not looking for. Maybe that's the slogan. When you're looking for good fish, you can't find what you're not looking for. You might walk by the world's best cherry barbs because you don't want them. Meanwhile, I'm looking for them, right? And then 3 years from now, turns out you're looking for cherry barbs. Why didn't I buy them back then? Well, you weren't looking for them then. So you can only find what you're looking for. When choosing fish for retail stores, is it demand-based or unique fish that you haven't had in a while? 90% is fish that people already want. 10% is, look at this other stuff for people to go, that's super cool. I'm going to buy the opposite of that. Because most people like cardinal tetras, rummy nose tetras, not Amazon's, well, Amazon swords, but Amano shrimp, cherry shrimp, autocinclus. These are things that every fish keeper basically needs. And so when you're like, hey, check it out, I got this thing that other people don't even know what it is. They're not looking to buy it, and they go, wow, it's a really cool $22 fish I don't need. And so it's always hard to teach new managers and everything, like, don't just buy stuff because it's cool. You have to buy what sells. And when you're buying stuff that you don't know sells, buy a little bit. And then the next step that's hard is, well, I bought 20 and they sold out in a week. And then I bought 20 more and they sold out a week. So I bought 100 and then nobody bought any. And it's like, yeah, there was only 40 homes for that fish. We now have 100 that have no homes. So just because something sold well for a week or two doesn't mean there's still lots of homes to go to. Because remember, we talked boom bust cycle. Nobody had midnight or dark rams. Every store had them. Nobody wanted them anymore. Now they crashed again. Now some people want them. Like, that's what happens. So that's just part of the learning of the retail. There's some things that don't crash though. Like, there are some fish that everybody on the planet will buy at the right price. If you have 1 million cardinal tetras and you say they're $5 each and people are buying them real slow, when you go, well, they're $4 each. Now they're buying them a little faster. Now they're $3 each. They're buying them twice as fast. They're $2 each. Ooh, they're really moving. They're $1 each. Sold out, right? So you might go, well, I don't need cardinal tetras. Do you need them at 25 cents? Well, 25 cents, I take them all. Like, let's be real. I'm not going to not buy cardinal tetras at 25 cents. So, there are some fish where you might go, oh, you've got Oscars at 25 cents. I still don't want them. What about 10 cents? No. 5 cents? Nope. A penny? Nope. I will give you $100 to take this 1,000 Oscars. Nope. Like, there are some fish you literally can't pay people to take, and then there's other fish that will just always sell because there's enough buyers. How were the 24K gold guppies from Dan's Fish? Thinking about ordering? Never seen them in Maine. In my opinion, not good. I'm letting that linger there. What? Corey will talk shade about people he affiliates with? You're dang right I will. So in my opinion, I bought some from Indonesia and I bought some from Dan's Fish. Neither one are like the photos you see where you're like, that thing looks like it's metallic and has like a gold color. Both of them were more pastel-y gold than that gold. That being said, I've been breeding them, and some are starting to throw some of the traits I want. So, if your question is, Corey, would you buy 24K gold guppies from Dan's Fish again? The answer is yes, I would, because they were way cheaper than importing them from overseas. And I basically got the same product. And they were healthy, and the ones I got from overseas were not healthy. I had to treat them with lots of meds, and I lost. So I bought, 2 trios. I only ended up with 4 fish after all is said and done. And yes, so if the question is, if you were looking for 24 karat gold guppies, would you buy them from Dan's Fish Again? Yes. Would I potentially buy them from another place too? Yeah, maybe. I am a guy that will buy 2 or 3 or 4 different batches of the same fish or shrimp to pick out the best. And you're going, but that's 4x the cost. But when I go to sell them, I will know I have the best ones to be selling, and they will get more money. So, Dan's, crazy healthy, good, still in my tanks, still breeding them, and I can tell you I sold some at the last 2 auctions, and they're selling well. So, I would, yeah. Casey with another 5 memberships, single-handedly growing this membership. If you didn't know, there's benefits. 5% discount on the website. That's one's decent. Maybe you're going, I don't live in America, Corey. That doesn't help me at all. Well, there's a talk where we hire a speaker every month, and they, like this week and this month, was Goldfish, and people said that talk was amazing. I haven't watched it yet. I was driving when it was on. I wasn't safe, so I haven't watched it yet. But also, we're doing the Deep in the Mulm podcast. That is a podcast with Zenzo, myself, and Randy, only available to members. We get a little loose in there. It's not always 100% fish. You basically, if you want to hang out with a group of people who all love, eat, and breathe fish all day long, and then also are friends, and you want to hang out and listen, that's that podcast. We will talk about some fish. We will talk about a lot of other stuff. But people seem to like that because it's, while still fish related, not always just fish. We talked a lot about 3D printers last week, and I loved it, and how we use it in fish and that kind of stuff. So also, if you're thinking about becoming a member, remember this. I haven't said this in years, because if you don't know, we actually help get memberships off the ground. We were one of the first people to ever have memberships on YouTube. But anyway, you can sign up for a membership, and if you don't like it, you can ask for your money back, and YouTube will give it back to you as long as you do it within 30 days. So you could be like, what is this all about? This is so dumb. Wish I got my $5 back. You can just ask for it back, and they'll give it back to you. But I think most people will be like, this is actually worth $5. Like, if you think about it, we do 5 dedicated pieces of content. So on average, the podcast is an hour to hour and a half, and the speaker we hire is an hour to an hour and a half. So even if you just go, hey, each one's an hour, we go on the light side on each one, you paid $1 per piece of content. Yes, that would be a lot, if you don't have a lot of money or something like that. But I think it's a great use of $5 if you're trying to kind of, I want 5 more podcasts to listen to, like 1 a week or something like that, or 1 every time I do a water change. Like if you want to spend a whole day in a fish room, you could listen to this for a couple hours. You could listen to one of those. You're at 3.5 hours. Start grabbing some other live streams, and pretty soon you did an 8-hour day, and you got to listen to stuff the whole time. So, yeah, that's my spiel. Candy donating 5. Thank you very much. I will say this. Not only am I thankful, but I want to point out that my own employees are willing to donate memberships and money, that kind of stuff, to the cause because they're seeing the value in it. She doesn't get reimbursed. I don't ask her to do it. None of that. She likes the community. She likes being a part of this even when she's not at work, right? And so, just let that marinate and go, yeah, it must be a decent thing going on if even the employees, I wish YouTube would let me. I would pay for all my employees' accounts. 100% I would. But the fact that I can't is a bummer, but I would let every employee, yes, of course you can be a member of what we're doing. Of course. You are very important to the entire organization, of course. But the fact that they're still willing to pay for their own and help others get into it, I just wanted to point that out of there's something actually going on here. So many memberships, if you've ever been a part of it, literally do nothing. They're like, yeah, you gave me $5. Thanks. Oh, what do I get for that? Yeah, you got the thanks. Where we go out of our way to try and develop things to, like the coins. You get coins. You get a Yeti mug at 5 years. yeah, you get like these little super chatty things. You get the talks. You get the discount. You get I know there's like others. Oh, one I haven't mentioned in a long time. Talking about shopping websites. If you didn't know, on our website, there, if you go under club, there is members only scratch and dent product sales. So you can save like an extra 10%. So you get 5% off, but then you save an extra 10% by buying something that's scratch or dent. And usually that just means the package is a little bit mangled. And so that's pretty, you got to be on the lookout because they update that whenever, it might be like, oh, we just opened a box and 3 of them were damaged. They're putting them on the website that day and that kind of stuff. So you can be on the lookout for that too. I'm trying to log in right now while I'm live to see if I can see, do we have any items that haven't been bought up? Yeah, right now we've got mystery converting cryptocorn when dead eyes at a bargain. And we've got some scratch and dent individual metal air valves. So if you're making a fish room, you could save an additional 10% on those valves if you need them. And I won't say every day, but whenever they get around to it, yeah, there's gonna basically just be extra stuff that you can buy at a discount sometimes. So there you go. We need a Candy Fan Club t-shirt. Could be. The podcast used redo is worth the membership. My brain is struggling to the podcast used redo. What does that mean? Used redo. I don't know. I'm scratching down. I need a huge discount. Well, you'll get it. Nick Reed donating a membership. Thank you. And Ann Angel joining up. Hey, welcome. I do understand shipping costs being an issue for fish, but if you buy fish in the summer in New Mexico, $40 can save your entire order. I will say this. I think fish are only going to get more expensive. I'm seeing them continually go up year after year. Shipping is getting more and more difficult, and there's no one thing to blame. When you look at statistics, more and more people are choosing to just buy stuff online. Whether it's groceries, whether it's shoes, clothing, fish, plants, aquarium stuff, your other hobbies, car parts, pencils, more things are just going around the country every year. And so unless we can get ahead of that infrastructure, which we have been statistically terrible at in America, things are slowing down, taking longer, and all of that. And so normally, how do we combat that? We make it more expensive. And we make it more expensive, people buy less, which reduces the amount of stress on the structure. And so that's how shipping goes up and prices go up. A lot of things happen. And so all I'm saying is with like a Dan's Fish or something like that, or an Imperial Tropical, or other places that do a good job, shipping once and shipping right is worth more money than shipping twice and doing it wrong. Not only are we talking about fish lives, we're talking about money, we're talking about time, we're talking about all these things. So, yeah, I have been a person that could not afford many things. I grew up incredibly poor. I've had very low paying jobs in the past. My wife pointed it out to me. So here's kind of a testament. Before we opened Aquarium Co-op and all that stuff, she showed me, I think it was yesterday or the day before, the Facebook post that said, we made it through the whole winter without turning the heat on. Only using aquariums and the dehumidifier to heat our entire house. Because we had a very small duplex. And we couldn't really afford heat. And so we would use lots of blankets, and we'd seal off rooms, and we'd do everything we could, because we basically could not afford heat. Like, we could, but you couldn't, right? Like, if I turn the heat on, I literally can't have hobbies or eat better or anything, right? So I understand when it's like, yeah, but $40 in shipping, bro. I get it. But I also understand, like, the first purchase I ever did I was at that house and I was that poor was $60 to get cherry shrimp. And I set up in a 10-gallon and I bred the crap out of those cherry shrimp. And they made me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, which meant the $60 with the $25 shipping at the time didn't cost me money. It made me money. So I've been there. I had to save up to do that, by the way. I had to buy the tank. I had to save up. I had to do this. I had to get the plants. I had to save up. I had to breed them, the plants and all that. Then I got the shrimp and took a chance, and then it paid off long term. But I have been there, and I understand it. There are lots of groups of people. Some might be like, I'm a millionaire. I don't worry about it. And some are, like me. You're in the back of your own fish store eating top ramen because that's literally all you can afford. And so not every vendor will make sense for every person. But the good news is you can still walk into a fish store and you can buy that molly for $4 and make 50 babies, and then you can raise those babies, and then you can sell them somewhere, and you can take that $50 and you can buy the next thing, and then you can sell that and you got your $100, and you can take that and you can buy the next thing. And eventually, maybe you are buying from Dan's Fish, or you're not. Maybe you're going to an event. Everything will make sense for you. You just got to navigate it. I can't navigate it for you. I can only show you options, and you go, yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds terrible. Hey, that's fine. Think of it like a restaurant. We all go to the restaurant and you're going, ooh, I really want pizza. Ooh, gives me heartburn. I'm not eating that. I'm having tacos tonight. Ooh, can't do that. A little too spicy for me. I'm having the cheeseburger. Great. They're all valid options. Good. All different price points. You pick what you like. I read that entirely different. Emily said, did 3 years in a camper off-grid, got really good at blanket cocoons. I read that as blanket raccoons, and I was like, ooh, that is a level. You got to hunt raccoons to make blankets? That's okay. I read that different. Life is about balancing wants and needs within your budget. Not everybody can justify the same expense. Just how it is. Yeah. Yes, there are people that will spend an amazing amount of money on car parts for the car, and I'm like, this is literally a thing that gets you from point A to B. Meanwhile, I'll spend any amount of money on cherry barbs because I'm a fool. And they're going, they're just fish, bro. Everybody's got what they're into. Let's see here. Some have discounts for Dan. Aquarium Coop. Save you 5%. Save you 5%. Also gets me a cut, by the way. I should say that. I do get a cut. It doesn't cost you anything more. But you do save 5% if you use Aquarium Coop there. And, yeah. Also, I believe, and I don't know this to be true, not that he has problems, but I do think Aquarium Co-op carries a little bit of weight of like, Aquarium Co-op recommended me. If there's a problem, you can say like, I'm going to tell Corey. And there's a little bit of like, if I agree with you, most people don't want me saying, yeah, they're screwing people over because it's really bad for their business. So there has been a time or two where it's like, hey, you want to do the right thing over here? Like this seems like, and I don't always believe the random customer either, so there's always two sides to every story. But every once in a while, like, it'd be pretty hard to, to deny that one. Like one time I saw another vendor, they shipped in the wrong size aquarium, and they're like, well, only this vendor sells these aquariums, and I have the wrong size in my hand. Here's the picture. Could I get the right size? And they're like, no. Like, what do you mean, no? Like, they bought a certain size aquarium. You owe them that size of aquarium. That's literally how it works. So then that's an easy one to side with the customer going, yeah, that's BS. You bought that tank, you should get that tank. Not, well, this one's like that tank. That's not what I bought. I'd like the one I bought. All guppies are easy to breed. I don't agree with that. Picta guppies, I do not find to be easy to breed. I also think that albino guppies are harder to keep alive and healthy to breed than non-albino guppies, in my experience. Just because I don't agree with it doesn't make it true, by the way. A lot of times people will be like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. It's called an opinion. In my opinion, that statement was not true. There might be the rest of the world go, that's true, Corey. And I go like, well, in my experience, I am really good at killing albino guppies in comparison to normals. And then Pictas, I believe, have always come from brackish water, and they utterly collapse in my water. You might be like, well, I got the world's hardest water. They don't collapse for me. And I go, great. I don't have that water, and they are collapsing on me. Both can be true, by the way. So, all guppies are easy to breed can be true. And Corey saying that those ones aren't easy to breed for him or keep alive for him can also be true. You can have two true things at the same time. A lot of times we forget that can happen. This hot in off the press, Dean. I'm yelling at him. He says, I just got my tank drilled today. Had to go with the internal overflow to make it work. Still waiting on my 1/2-inch black PVC. Should be here Friday. Dean just in his fish room building stuff instead of listening to the pet store or to the live stream. I was reading. I hate that when I start reading and then my brain just goes, oh yeah, Sandy pet store. But I told him to join the live stream. Maybe he'll hop in here. Thank you, Corey, for providing Sandy's Pet Shop in Louisville, Kentucky with your products. Makes it easy for me. Well, I'll tell you what. Thank you for buying the stuff. That makes it easier for me. The more you buy, the more I can do live streams and try to make products better and entertain people and do whatever it is I'm trying to do. I don't always know. Changes week to week. What am I trying to do? We want more wholesale accounts? No. We want to develop something? Okay. No. We want to breed fish? Okay. What are we doing? Yeah, that's right. I'm live, bro. I told him, join my live stream. Let's see. Trying to decide if I should post my videos of my fish room. Help the hobby in a constructive but non-repetitive way. Is there a recommended way to do that? Well, you gotta decide what are your motives. If your motive is truly how do I help people, I believe your local club, if you have like a Facebook group or a forum, I think that's the best you could do because you could help them and they could like see it in person and that kind of stuff. I think the next best would be something like the Aquarium Co-op Forum because people have to make a choice that they want to be there. It's a smaller group, one-on-one interactions. And then I think the worst way to do it, pot calling kettle black here, is to do it on YouTube because, and the reason why I say that is, you get the feedback of everybody. You're doing it wrong, bro. I wouldn't have done that. Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of people that find benefit too, but you could spend a lot of time wasted trying to help people that don't want to be helped, or they're telling you how you're doing it wrong, and you're swimming uphill. That's right, swimming uphill, not upstream, but uphill. And so that's the way I rank those, and replace YouTube with Instagram or TikTok or Facebook Reels, like that kind of stuff. But basically, locally, then hobbyist type group, then the masses. So that's, if you're trying to help, that's where I would start. I would go, which one does it seem like is going to work out well for you? What's the best light for a 6-foot, 125-gallon tank? By the way, did anybody hear this? I don't know if this is a rumor, but I heard on a live stream that Fluval has a new light. I have not seen it anywhere. I know there was just Global, which is a pet expedition. So maybe they released it global. I haven't seen any pictures, though. So I'm interested to see what the new light is. But anyway, best light for 6-foot, 125. It depends. What's your goal? Is it affordability? If it's just what is the absolute best light, probably ADA lights, but you'd spend like $2,000. So you're probably going, well, not that. I think what's the best light? If Corey, what's the best light you'd put? I run Chihiro's lights on this. I like them. The fish look good. The plants are doing well. But you're into it for probably $500 for the two. And you're going, hey, if that's out of your price range, I'd step down a level and I'd probably go with some Phoenix lights. And that might set you back $225 or something like that. So, it just depends on where you're at on what the best one is. Tyler's tuning in from Europe this week. Hope all is well. Have you seen any new strains of platies, guppies, or mollies lately that I thought of new or exciting? Let me think. I don't think so. I mean, I'm excited about my little spear tails that I got at a local club. I wasn't looking for spear tails. I'm always looking for spear and spade tail guppies. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head where, I mean, I did see some cool glass belly guppies online that you could just see the fry really well, but I wasn't gonna buy them or anything. They weren't selling either. I just thought it was a cool. Oh, I know what I saw actually. On the forum, there's a guy that's breeding. I think it's a guy. It could be a girl. I don't know. There's a person breeding guppies where they have what we think might be a hermaphroditic guppy that has a gonopodium, but also he's got a picture of it giving birth to a fish. So I told him, like, you should work with that just as a purely, that's fascinating. See if it can make more hermaphroditic guppies. And I literally said in the post, like, I'm not sure we need hermaphroditic guppies. Heather Green, who was looking for the light, says, a single bar light, there's going to be very few options in that 6 foot length because it gets obscenely expensive to ship a 6 foot light. I would say the longest one I just happen to know off the top of my head is, I think it's on Bulk Resupply or their freshwater version. What do they call it? No, not BRS. BFS. What do they call the freshwater version? For some reason I can't figure it out. Let me look. They call it BRS Fresh because that makes sense. They've got the AI blade lights. Apparently they're 15% off right now. 15% off, $7 billion, by the way. But they do have a 66-inch, which is 6 inches too short, but they do have a 66-inch light on sale for only $560.99. So, if you're in that $560.99 category on a 66-inch light, hey, they got one of those for you. I don't think many people are in that category, but what do I know, right? Let's see. I have a male red coral platy that looks like he may have a small protosword. What is protosword? Protosword. I don't know what that means. Oh, like on his tail, like it's got a little bottom sword thing. That's kind of cool. Sometimes you see some of the platies that'll have that with like a little bit of blue on that little tail too. Like in that sword, it's like a little blue sword part. It's not very long though. Where's the best place to actually buy fish, specifically autos? Your local fish store. I've got videos on this, but essentially any store in which you know what day they received them, I basically buy them that day and then quarantine them at home with a bunch of algae. So if that's a Petco, PetSmart, your local mom and pop store, hopefully one of our RPP stores, that, in my opinion, that's the best. Shipping a 6 foot light, I can't imagine it not arriving bent. I mean, there's a reason why it's $560. At some point, you're just paying because there are people that are like, I just want a 6 foot light. And you can be like, $1,200. I'm like, cool, I need 3 of them. I got 3 tanks. They're just like, okay. Like, there are some people that just, it's like I am, fish are worth any amount of money. Sure. But there are people that, with lights like that, equipment. They're called saltwater aquarists. Bird, freshwater's the best water. Which I just got some more. I only had one freshwater's the best water shirt. I ordered 2 more, so that way I can wear them more often. So I don't have to constantly tell my wife, can you make sure that one gets washed? I got a live stream today. I'm filming today. Where's my freshwater's the best water shirt? That's exactly, my wife will attest, I pretty much troll her like that. Of but I wanted it real bad. Clearly in a joking way. Why a bunch of algae in quarantine? The only real known thing that we know autosynclists will always eat is diatom algae. So flat kind of blue or green algae on the glass. Now they might come in and they might chow down on green beans or rapashi or Like we've got some that eat on the easy shrimp and snail, for instance, and but you can't guarantee it. And so I want to guarantee they'll eat something. Yes, you are right. It is about time for a Werther's Original. Getting up early and going to the airport, plus all these meetings today, and then this. I want to make sure I make it through the last 30 minutes here without coughing the whole time. What was it? Oh yeah, someone said the Aquasky 3.0. I don't know if we needed an Aquasky 3.0, but I'm about to look at one. What? Aquasky 3.0, I've got posts going all the way back to 2021. Are they maybe talking new? Okay, right here on Reddit. Yep, there it is. That is the most grainy photo I've ever seen. I can barely read it, but I picked up a new light for my fish tank, the Aquasky 3.0. Where can I get one of these? I wonder if I can buy one at like Petco. Half the time, Fluval be tripping a lot. Like they're only getting worse in my opinion, just FYI. Half the time they release it to a Petco or PetSmart, and then like a month and a half later, like, oh, as a mom and pop, were you interested in that? We've now flooded the market. Were you interested in giving us money now that people have bought them? And it's like, oh, could we do that? By the way, there is actually no way for my retail store to currently get Fluval. They made a deal where they're only selling to wholesalers and not direct to stores anymore. And there's no wholesalers that have any Fluval products on the West Coast yet. So I literally could not even get one to my own store. Like, thanks, Fluval. So from number one dealer of your lights ever to can't even get it to the store that did that. Good move. Not that I'm bringing them in. I'm just saying I couldn't, even if I want to. Couldn't do it. Like it's not good. There it is, Aquasky 3.0 at Petco. Oh, wait. Is that 4 feet? They're 48? So they brought in the app. Okay, good move. Did they tell us anything else about this thing? Controlled exclusively by the Fluval Connect app. Highlighted by RGB and dual white LEDs. The Aquasky 3.0 allows users to completely customize their color spectrum, light cycle, and dynamic effects. This latest generation also features Bluetooth and Wi-Fi 2.4 gigahertz connectivity. They should have done 5 gigahertz. There's so many networks now that don't have a 2.4. Anyway, customizable color spectrum, you're in control. Programmable 24-hour light mode, just like all their other lights pretty much. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, yep, dynamic effects. Add a splash of excitement to your aquarium with a variety of weather and special effects. Ooh, do we get thunder and lightning mode? True to nature viewing, optimized color spectrum replace natural sunlight for vivid fish and plant tones. I like that. Extendable bracket and advanced waterproofing IP67. I wonder if I could just add, can I just add advanced to things and then it just sounds better? Oh yeah, now we've got the advanced small fish feed. Oh yeah, what's advanced about it? It's advanced. Yeah. Somehow the Aquasky is now advanced. I'm just going to, I got me a advanced, this is an advanced Werther's Original. Oh, he's got the advanced ones. Casey, yeah, you're thinking the same thing I do. But does it have a power button? Yes, the previous 2 versions of the Aquasky did not have a power button. So if your app wouldn't connect to it, you literally couldn't use the light. It's at 35 watts, by the way. At 4 feet, it should be a low to medium light for most people. And the price being $170. I don't know. That's getting a nod dog for me. I was kind of on board. $170 for a 4-foot light being the lower light. The reason I say that is I would buy the Plant 3.0. Well, with tariffs now, that's a good point. I might have to take that back a little bit. Hold on. What would this price be minus 20%? Because they just got hit with a 20%. So when they designed this light, it probably had a better price point. Let me do that math. What was the price? Oh yeah, 170 basically. 170 times 0.8. 136? All right, I feel like I would have bought that. That like coming in 4-foot light at $136. Yes, I do think that would have been pretty good. At the 170, I have to recalibrate my mind because all lights are pretty much made in China. So that means Phoenix went up, Blue Ball went up, everything's going up. So, you know, someone just said, Patrick said, $270 for the Blue Ball 3.0 now. Like, what are we talking about here? We're getting crazy with these lights. So maybe I don't know, 170 feels bad. I don't know. I gotta buy one. I gotta buy one and play with it because I feel like I'm just throwing shade when I haven't played with it yet. So I'm gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one right now. That's not true. I'll buy one after the stream. I'm gonna buy one after the stream. Can I ship it? Yeah, I can ship it. I'll ship one to myself and I'll let you know if it's awesome or not. How about that, guys? What kind of auto timer would you recommend that doesn't need Wi-Fi? Honestly, go to Harbor Freight and buy like a $5 timer. Any will do, pretty much. I love Casa Wi-Fi timers, though. Love them. Runs my whole fish room. Oh, show. Getting into the Chihuahua level prices? Kind of. Well, let me look at the current price of Chihuahua lights because they may have raised price from tariffs too. That's the problem with tariffs. Like, in my mind, I paid a certain price. Like when I was quoting this price, I was quoting the price I paid. It's gone up 20% since then, maybe. And so my recommendation's a little more outdated if it went up 20%, right? Let's see, US plug and the Slim 90, $262.99. Let me look back in Amazon. No, I should be able to log in and see what I paid. I can tell you if they went up. Does it not remember my... I gotta get into my email. Help. What is this light called? I'll just search this light. There we go. What did I pay for this light just right before tariffs? I paid... Let's see. Where's order confirmations? Is it here? Yep, I paid $262.99. So as of January 18th, so they have not raised the price from tariffs yet. So maybe Chihuahua lights are a good buy at this exact point. I fully expect it to level out though. Give it 3 months. I expect all the lights will have put their price increases in, and yeah. For larger tanks, would I recommend 1 or 2 lights? I basically recommend, well, depending on the light. Some lights light up 1 foot really well. Some light off 18 inches. So I like the Chihuahua lights can do, which by the way, they're Chihiros in case people are actually wondering what he's saying. They could do 18 inches where, yeah, I feel like one light on 18-inch tanks, you can make it work. They're getting expensive. So, yeah. Get some photos of the Aqua Sky and then the Chihuahua light in the same tank. I could do that. I could put one on each side. I'll buy a 3-footer and I can do that. And I can show you guys on camera, which camera sometimes autocorrect, so that doesn't always help. But I need to keep an open mind. Maybe they've done something really cool with the new Aqua Sky. I'm crapping on them without it in my hands. I need to get better about that and just hold my opinion until I put my hands on it and go, oh, this thing's amazing. But I will let you know. If I think it's amazing, I'll let you know. If I think it sucks, I'll let you know. Denise, 5 memberships. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Do you need all the expensive fancy lights, or can you go with something cheap on Amazon? You can totally go with something cheap on Amazon. I like fancy lights because I like my stuff looking good. Everyone's got their own preference. right? My thing I would say is I want my display tanks to look really good to me. Breeding tanks, any light, right? Some people would say, like, some people love. Oh, Casey gifted 5 more as well? You're on fire, Casey. Thank you. Some people love really, really blue light. I do not. So that's just a different, that's just a different preference. But I do really like. I'm enjoying the Chiro's lights. I enjoy my lights. I enjoy Fluval 3.0s. I did not enjoy Aqua Sky 1 or 2. Maybe 3 is the one. Maybe I'm like, hey, it's a good buy, guys. It's good. I would say I don't know Fluval 3.0 at 270. I'm not sure that I'm ready to buy him at that price. No. Can I say that confidently? Yes. Right now, if you're, no, hold on. I gotta go apples to apples. 4-foot light, the 4-foot version of the Chihiro's light that I like is $359.99. So, would I spend $270 on a Fluval light or $360 on a Chihiro's light? I gotta be honest, I'd probably buy the Fluval light. Unless it's my one display tank, my one that I really love. I think about that sometimes. If I own like 3 aquariums or less, I'd only buy the best lighting. Since I own so many, the money saved, I feel like I would spend on the next tank of like, but I can get, I can put 2 4-foot Chihiro's lights on 2 75-gallon tanks, or I could get 3 Fluval lights on 3 75-gallon tanks. And I feel like I would take the extra third light. I think I would. I gotta be honest. Even though I love the Chihiro's lights, depending on your budget, you gotta be budget conscious. Hopefully, the Aqua Skies are amazing, and then you can be like, ooh, I can get 2 Aqua Skies for every Chihiro's. Like, that's not usually how it works, but sometimes, yeah. Let's see here. The other problem is sometimes I remember when the Fluval 2.0, which I really love that light, was $175. And it was an amazing value. We sold insane amounts. We made videos about them. I loved that light. Then the 3.0 came out. I liked that light too. But once tariffs started hitting, I thought the price got too high. So the 25% tariff hit. They went to like $225. And then now they're at, is it really $270? I gotta see this. Is it really? Yeah, let me just, is it really? Do they sell it on their website? Let's see. They do not. That's fine. They only sell some of their products on their website. Fluval 3.0. Let's hop on here. Has Amazon got a higher price yet? No. See, you can... Wait, I lied. $255 on Amazon. Woo! Let's look at another place. See if I can find something else here. Amazon. Bulk resupply. Let's look at there. We were just there. How much is their light? They got them for $239.99. Still expensive. I mean, not way cheaper, but hey, $239.99. Save yourself an extra, what, $15 compared to buying it on Amazon. And you get, you get a little bit of bulk reef points or whatever from bulk reef supply. So that's not the worst. Yeah. Oh, I missed it. Get well, Gary. I don't know what you're getting well from, but get well. Let's see. Which Chihiro's model do I have? I have a couple different ones. I have the RGB Slim 2. That's what's on this tank. And then I have crazy expensive lights on the 800 gallon, which you guys haven't seen. So working on I'm working on the full dirted tank to finish cycling on the 800 gallon. It's got 7 inches of dirt, and then I went for 13 inches of sand, and then a solid 10-inch cap of gravel. And then I only put dojo loaches in it that like to burrow down in it. Looks awesome. I have 56 Fluval 3.0s and one Lonely Aqua Sky. A man after my own heart. I also own a lot of Fluvals because we still use them in some of the warehouse. We started actually clearancing out the store because we just use our lights instead. But yeah, I would definitely say this. If you own something like a Fluval 3.0, if you own, let me back up. If you own a good light, don't feel like you got to go run and buy a new light. G-Bear says the Fluval 4.0, and Aqua Sky 3.0 are out in Europe. Fluval 4.0, is that a thing? I'm interested just to see. I'm interested to see like how they, because like the Fluval 3.0 to the 4.0 was not like a massive upgrade. I don't think. There it is. I see it in the Pet Age magazine. Fluval 4.0. This is back in October 30th, 2024. Oh, it's just like a blurb? Come on. All it says is with spectrum specific output, the Fluval 4.0 lighting range delivers brilliant illumination, optimized light intensity for plants. The Superior Color Rendering Index, the CRI, guarantees vibrant colors, bringing your aquascape to life. Plus, with integration into the Fluval Connect system and app, you can conveniently control it from your mobile device. Huh. Nothing else, huh? Oh wait, here's one. At aquacadabra.com in somewhere in Europe. You got any of them descriptions, bro? Accept. Let's see. Mounting option. Come on. The website's like broken. Why? This is making for a terrible show. Oh, they got the Fluval 4.0 Nano. Their website doesn't work. You're killing me. See if it'll work now. There we go. Now it's working. All right. Okay, it's got an option. It's got the slide out brackets, but it looks like there's another way in which you can slide it out, but also up and down. Kind of got a weird thing going there. All right. Something. What do you got? You got same wattage as before. Did it go up in par, maybe? Let's see. No, they wouldn't give you par values. That'd be useful to compare apples to apples. No par values. Only lumens. So 4,700 lumens. What's the 3.0? You got lumens on the 3.0 anywhere? Of course not. It'd be useful. Fluval 3.0. Give me your lumens. Give them to me. Lumen output right here. Okay, so the Plant 3.0 48 inch does 4,250 lumens, and apparently the new one does 4,700. So it did get brighter. Okay. You got anything else for me though? I don't see anything. 4-year warranty. Okay. Warranty went up by a year. I'm not sad to see that. Not sad. I like that. Longer warranties. I am in favor of that. That's a good call. Yeah. Again, I guess I'll have to play with one. See what's new. The only new words I can see on here is they use Bluetooth mesh. Feel like that's marketing hype. I don't know what Bluetooth mesh is. Like, I know what a mesh network is. I just don't know what Bluetooth mesh is. They also have a new Pro Plant flue ball light. Looks like 2 sets of diodes. We shall see. Yeah. Casey says, if the 3.0 is the surface of the sun, I wonder what they changed for the 4.0. That's my thing is, I don't think lights need to get brighter. Like I run this Heroes light at 50%. If anything, I think I need to go down. Make them cheaper. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Would it be overkill to put a canister filter on a 20 long or a 20-gallon hex? I feel like the hex, if used like a Fluval 107, makes sense. On the long, yeah, I mean, you got to get like the smaller the canister, the better. Like if you got a little like a little Phoenix canister or something, that could work. But if you don't want to go too big on that. What do we think about Dean doing a member-only discus keeping and breeding talk? I have asked Dean a million times. He doesn't want to do it. Because he's like, I need more footage. I need more video, or like more pictures and all of that. And he I think is being a little bit, he's underselling himself. Like I think I tell him like, but people want to learn from you, Dean, myself included. You provide a fun talk. We've seen you do it on video. We just want to know your tips. You don't have to be the best discus breeder in the world to give a talk on it. Instead, just give a nice talk. So, but I could see that not having the pictures and the footage you want to illustrate the point. That does make talks hard. Patrick says 2-meter cord on the 4.0. So 12 foot cord. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's see here. I made a DIY barracks for my betta growouts. I need some improvements, but it works. That's half this hobby. Just, hey, I did a thing. Now let's see if I do the thing better. I got an idea to make the thing do a thing. That's kind of aquarium keeping in a nutshell. My thing's doing a thing. I'm going to try this thing. Now it's doing a thing. I wonder about that thing. Ooh, I'm on the lookout for that thing. I just bought this thing. This thing just came out with a new thing. Like, you replace most of the hobby. Just replace any brand or thing you're looking for with the word thing, and you can pretty much hold a conversation about the hobby. Like, yeah, they've got more things at the thing. Dean wants secrets to himself? No, Dean doesn't hold secrets. Dean shares everything. Dean is the most outgoing, willing to help anybody guy I've met. Let's see. I think I speak for everyone when I say we all love Dean and we need more content. Yeah. Dean's a busy guy. We haven't put anything on the calendar. Yeah. I think he's supposed to get back to me. I was trying to think, I thought we were trying to plan a thing. What do I recommend to get the max production out of cherry shrimp tub? And what cold water tolerant plants that can overwinter through winters as bad as your winters? The only thing that I've battle tested in terms of overwintering has been like irises and lilies that die back over the winter. But as far as maxing out the production, just feeding really heavy. Right now I'm really seeing a lot of good benefits out of the Magic Small Fish feed, but get sunlight on them, that helps, and stuff falls into a pond, leaves, that kind of stuff, it helps too. Yeah, that's I would say that's really all you can do. Stephen P donating 5 memberships, thank you. Getting a lot of new members. We'll see you. You got to catch up on Deep in the Mullen podcast, but we'll release another one this week, probably Friday. I think I might just make Fridays. I don't know. Sometimes if we get done and I'm not busy enough, I can just do it right after we finish on Thursdays. But if I got stuff to do afterwards, then I might have to wait till Friday or whatever. Our goal when I started this thing was it can't be tons of work. Like we could get three people in the company together to do the show for like an hour to an hour and a half, but it can't spiral out of control. It can't be like, well, I spent 2 hours trying to plan content, or I spent an hour editing, or I had to do this or I had to that. Like, it has to be real low key. It basically, the format is, if we were to all meet up and eat lunch, or we were all in an hour long meeting, that's the format. If it's anything outside of that, like that, nope. The parameters are, we're all eating lunch together, or we're all in a meeting. It's an hour long, roughly. That's all the time. Make it work. Because I was like, we do this all the time. We can do this and just record it, basically. And so, yeah, it's been working, which is good to hear. I've won 2 subs now. I thought YouTube limited it to 1. I think it's like every 6 months or something. Because, yeah, for a long time, people couldn't multiple win. They either changed it or, yeah, or it was every 6 months. We just said no. Oh, Dean's head just exploded. They'll see you now. Now you see what you guys did. You said, we love Dean. We want more content. You just exploded his head. Now we get none. We killed him. No, definitely Dean and I, which, by the way, Dean, we need to talk a little bit more about making some of those trips potentially. Because you were in London, and then we had to talk when you get back. Dean went to London and got sick, so he's been... And Dean and I talk fairly often. We've just been talking about like the video we're shooting. We're both building like fry racks and things, and we're talking like, what about this? Are you doing it this way? I'm doing it this way. You doing it this way? And then we always forget to like, oh yeah, we should be making plans and doing things. Yeah, should. About how long will a dry start take to see new growth? I don't know. I've never done a dry start. Never done it. So I couldn't tell you. Speak from experience. I don't think I've done it, right? Let me double check. Now I'm starting to doubt myself. Like, I've done a lot of stuff. Like, have I actually... I've grown crypts and anubias stuff in a terrarium, but I didn't dry start and then flood it. I mean, I kind of did. I transferred the plants. So I felt like I saw really good growth like 2 weeks in. After that, I was getting quite fast growth after 2 weeks growing plants immersed. But that's not quite the same setup we're talking about, but close. Do I know if there are any successful breeders of hillstream loaches in general? Yeah. I mean, I've made hundreds of them. Yeah, so I would say yes. I know lots of people. I've met lots of people that have done it. A lot of people have done it kind of on accident a little bit too. So, yes. While you're looking up lights, Dean told us to put dirt in the 800 gallon. Yeah, I did. I told you guys I did. Yeah. Which wood would you use for your racks? Cabinet grade, maple, or subfloor? What do I use? I think I'm technically using cabinet grade. I want to say it's like 50 or 60 bucks a sheet. I pretty much just buy by thickness. I was like, yeah, I want 3/4 thickness. And they only had like one to choose from. So I was like, I guess that's what I'm buying. I wouldn't buy, like, subfloor is what I call, like, what, chipboard or, what else I call that? It's not particle board. Chipboard? Yeah. When it gets wet, it gets spongy. I don't like it. So I like something with a face to it. 800 gallon marine dirted tank. Getting closer. Never been closer. New subscriber and just started a fish business. Good luck, Stephen Conway. Does hornwort prevent the other plants from growing? I don't know that it's been well documented, but there is some what they call allelopathy, where plants release chemicals and fight other plants. I don't think hornwort does it to all of them, but I think it can fight with like Vallisneria a little bit, maybe. Yeah, OSB, that's what I was like, yeah, I call it OSB. But some people call it like chipboard stuff. But yes, OSB is what I normally call it. We have two sheets of it sitting in the expansion at the moment. But yes, MDF or particle board will swell as well, but I find that OSB will start to swell if you let it get too wet. So I prefer just using a plywood because I haven't really seen it swell. So going by the shop tomorrow late afternoon. Anybody going to be there? I'll help spend your money. You say that, Dean. I almost would bet if you said I'll help you shop and spend your money, and you put a time, you might have a few people show up. Like, all right, help me, Dean. Like I could see that. Probably drive my employees nuts, but I could see it. Maybe you guys strong arm Dean. He'll be around for the expansion opening. He gave up on monster guppies and now it's monster mud skippers. That's right. Two-armed mud skippers. Two-hand. They're biggins. Best temp for getting hatch of baby Brian in 24 hours? Like 82-ish degrees. Keep them warm. Make sure the water starts pretty warm too. A lot of people, like, they'll fill their brine shrimp with cold water and then wonder why it's taking a long time. Like, it takes a while to heat water up. Like, start with 80-degree water at least. Plywood prices are crazy. It gets so hard to know what to pick. Maple, for example, is 90, or cabinet grade. Pine's 50. Yeah. For racks, I would just go with like the pine. Yeah. I used OSB, but I made sure to paint it. What I don't like about OSB is even when you paint it, if you drop like flake and it gets wet on it, you can't like, it's not a flat surface to wipe up. You can't wipe it because it just like cloths and everything wants to snag on. It's rough because of you. Yeah, it's not a flat surface. So that's why I don't like it as much. Your plywood shelves are AC grade, 3/4 inch thick. All right, I believe you, Dean. I believe you know this. All I know is when I was doing it, and Dean and I was like, "So you need 3/4." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's so expensive. Can't we do 1/2 inch?" He's like, "I would do 3/4." Anytime Dean hits me with the, "Well, I would do 3/4," it's like, all right, you're basically telling me you got to do 3/4. So then I do it, and then I'm always happy with the result. But yeah, that's how Dean gets me. Shout out from Dominican Republic. All right. Plan a tank with rosy barbs, 35-gallon work? Yeah, I would rock that. I think you can do that just fine. The pine plywood, oddly enough, has an even number of piles, which is structurally much less sound than an odd number of piles in maple. That is that gets to like engineering level nerd. I'm only fish room nerd, so that's gone beyond my my comprehension of layers in plywood to practical strength needed in a fish room. Can't do that kind of math. Recently bought a PetSmart stand. Wait, PetSmart brand stand. It's really, really good quality. Solid wood, no open top, solid construction. I'm impressed. All right. Sounds like they're getting it together. As long as it's not pressboard, I'm good. Let's see. What was my favorite time in the hobby? When did you enjoy the hobby the most? I'm realizing that it's always when I have baby fish. Right now, I'm riding high because I've got like rainbow fry in a couple tanks. I've got barb fry, I've got library fry, and I've got corridor fry. So I'm motivated to get out in the fish room and feed and move fish around and build things. I was out here till 6:30 last night working on building a fry rack so that I can put more fish away, basically. Yeah. I'm shipping a pond worth of mud guppies to Corey. You can pick out the best ones from hundreds. All right. I accept your challenge. It'll be $1 billion for shipping, but yeah. Let's see. I'm dying for some longfin rosy barbs, but I'm making myself wait 6 to 9 months so I'll enjoy them more. Fair. All right. Maybe, I'm trouble, but maybe you get them in a couple months so you can breed them outside during the summer. I've Got the cutest teenage Hongsloi, cichlid or, well, African cichlid or Hongsloi apisto. We got real good color. All right. I have dirt substrate capped by gravel. I had not been able to clear the water for more than a week of water changes. Any recommendation? Let's see. What do I say here that doesn't hate on dirted tanks? Use some carbon to absorb tannins. Do more water changes. Me personally, if you were gonna do a dirted tank, I recommend 1/2 inch of dirt, followed by 2 inches of gravel, which is not what other people recommend, but I do not enjoy the tannin look in tanks, and when you have lots of organics, it takes a long time to get it clear. Some people's definition of clear is not what my definition of clear is, but hey, I myself have not done a dirted tank in over 10 years, so I have done them. There are merits to them. That being said, as a guy in charge of hundreds of fish tanks, you know how many I have? I have 0. Why? I don't enjoy them, but lots of people do. I also don't have saltwater tanks. Doesn't mean they're bad, I just don't enjoy them, right? So, I thought the Mbuna name was Hongi? You might be right. You might be right. You are right. It's a good day when Eric is smarter than me. Good on you, buddy. You're right. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about that other than sweet. Let's see. Dean and Corey come to Australia. Collecting would be a pain to get approval, but would be awesome. Yeah, we've been invited a few times. It's on the we should go there list. We just haven't done it yet. Casey with the one gifted sub at the 5 p.m. mark West Coast time. Thank you very much. Wherever you go, please document the trip. Yes, we will document. I say that, but more and more I want to go places and not document because I get to enjoy it 20x if I don't have to be like, you guys don't realize it, but half the time I'm viewing, I see what you see, except I see it on a screen this big because it's my camera lens. So I'm trying to like get the right shot, come on, while you guys just get to like watch it on your TV. I guess I could watch it on the TV after the fact for me too, but it's better just to like do it in person and be like, oh, I could see it, I could touch it, I could smell it, I could taste it. Let's see. What for me is personally, what for you personally is most stressful yet enjoyable and fun in your day-to-day operation of the business? Easily customers. Every day I have the I'm going to quit tomorrow, I don't like people. And then I also have people and the enjoyment they're getting is the coolest thing ever, and I want to focus my life on doing more of that. And it just depends. Am I waking up to a disaster? Am I waking up to something good? Is it later in the day? Is it like, it'll happen several times. You'll see a thing and it's utterly devastating, and then the next thing is uplifting, and the next thing is uplifting, and the next thing's devastating, and the next thing's uplifting. And so I think that's the hardest thing. I'm just like, some people are like, yeah, you in the same day I can have people be like, the Easy Flow, it's the best thing that has changed my hobby. I've been using sponge filters for 50 years. I love it. And I only have to clean them once a year. And then you can have the next person go, oh yeah, I have to clean mine every week. They suck, they clog, I'm getting rid of them. I'm throwing them out, and I'm throwing them at kids and making them cry. I hate them that much. And you're just like, I don't know what you're doing wrong. Yeah, I don't know. I've been keeping them for 170 years, and you're so dumb, Corey. And then I go back and like, oh, this person likes this other thing we're doing. Oh, this person hates it. Oh, this shipment's been delayed. Oh, hey, we did launch new products. I haven't mentioned them. So I've been salesmaning so hard for bulk resupply and other places. I spent 2 hours talking about other companies that I forgot to say. We did launch some products, by the way. We have a new Solosai African cichlid decal on the website. And then we have the listings, but they won't arrive till tomorrow, I think, sometime. For 2 new tissue culture plants, we have a Cryptocorn balinse, and we have a Lobelia cardinalis mini tissue culture that will be, they're on the website now, but they'll go into stock tomorrow-ish, depending on, you know how it is. You got to get products in from Canada into America by FedEx. It's and through customs. Like, if you guys only really saw the back end of like multiple governments throughout the world of like, Canada's got to say it's okay, America agriculture's got to say it's okay, FedEx has got to not drop the ball, and Tropica has to have them in stock, and we got to get them into Kentucky and have nothing get frozen or overheated, and then we got to get them out to our customers without freezing or overheating them. Like, just every little thing that gets involved in that is just like, whew. So when it goes right, you know, like, yeah, we just did 2,000 shipments, no problem. Like, that feels real good. Because all the time we have, so like we stopped doing, I'll just tell you guys right now, there's no more bundles on the website. That app every month does an update that breaks it. And then it causes us to lose hundreds and hundreds of dollars with reships on the app sucking. And so we finally said, you know what? No more bundles. Like, we can't spend our time fixing other people's stuff that breaks. And they're just like, well, you know, with updates, there's chances things break. Like, every month, though, you got to break it every month. Every month you have to break it. And then, you know, because of a time difference, like they're in a different country, they don't get back to us for 18 hours. And so, like, we have to notice, and we're like, ooh, how many people are affected? 32. Okay. Can we get them to fix it so we don't have to do it all bad? Nope, they're not responding. I guess we do it the bad way. We lose a bunch of money, and then they'll fix it, and then we'll recycle. It'll be a month later. We're done. We're done with it. Like, everyone's like, but I love the plant bundle. Me too. I loved it too. You know what I don't love? Losing money. I don't love losing money. So, yeah. Another one from today. We're still trying to figure it out. Like, I joked a few times ago about, like, Alaska and Hawaii, what are we going to do about shipping? Like, get while you still can. A store, which we love RPP stores. I love them. It's so expensive to ship to Hawaii. They spent $1,800 buying products. Our shipping, and we've looked at all the shipping we can do, it cost us $828 to ship it to them. You know what that means? After credit card fees and stuff, we literally don't make money. So we got to go back to the drawing board. Like, at a certain point, I should have put it in my carry-on and flew to Hawaii. Like, actually, I think that would have saved money. It may have saved money for me to pack it in 2 carry-ons and fly there and hand it to them, then ship it. That literally, I'd have to look up the plane ticket. It might have only been like $700. It might have been cheaper for me to fly there and do that than to actually ship it. So we're still looking to, like, maybe we got to look into pallet. Like, what are we going to do about this? Because this is not sustainable. Like, doing work for free or losing money, you can only go so long. We're trying. But, you know. The good news is there's a better profit margin to consumers, like direct to consumer. So when you buy from us, it's not as hard. Shipping's still brutal, but there's a little more profit there to offset that. So, do I have a person who screens some of the fire hose feedback I get? Lots of public figures do that and save their sanity. That's called candy. That's called customer service for me. For the most part, I try. However, nobody can screen the feedback from, like, the forum and the Facebook group and our YouTube comments. Like, there's just hundreds, if not thousands, every day. And you could pay someone to do it, but it would only work if I was like, please, hand me the report of comments that, make my head grow bigger and make me feel good. Otherwise, I'm in the trenches and it's just like, ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. So, I don't think you can have both. I don't think you can have the CEO of a company be shoulder to shoulder with you at an event, at your local club, in your Facebook feed, like where you're hanging out, and also not have the emotional roller coaster of seeing everybody's, win and loss. So it's rough. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate for the non-continental states for sure, but there's also only so much I can do. Yeah, I'm trying. Don't get me wrong, I'm trying. Like, we're not giving up easy. We're still working on it, and usually there's got to be a way. We find a way. Like, oh, okay, it's this series of events that'll lead to we can make this work. So, is there a future where plants get shipped to RPP stores? No. Nope. Shipping plants expensive because you want them there faster. So also stores order big amounts, which is heavy. Can't put them with plants, they'll get crushed. So unlikely that we would do both dry goods and plants to stores. Especially when we want to lean into like, yeah, what about gravels to stores? What about tanks to stores? We're basically looking at bigger shipments and slower to stores as opposed to plants, which would be smaller shipments and faster. So you got to pick a lane. We could ship them plants, or we can ship them tanks and gravel vacs and gravel and other bulky things, and those get to be bigger pallets. We're leaning that way of like, how do we get more stuff there? Where someone who only does plants, like, yeah, they can buy from farms and wholesalers already. We don't make plants, so it's not going to make sense for us to ship them plants either. Most likely. I mean, there's always going to be a day where it's like, haha, Corey, it's been 6 years, you fool. Now you're doing that. Like, yeah, I guess stuff changed. Now we're doing that. So there's always that chance. Do I have a window to breed my Basmani rainbow fish, or do I have plenty of time? I think you got plenty of time. Usually you got a decent amount of time on those. It's not like some of the Pseudomogos where you got 4 to 6 months only. You got more time. Serena hooked me up in customer service this week. Good. My instruction to my customer service team is make people happy. I could not handle doing customer service, as in I take everything too personally, and everything is we must solve this to the best of our ability, which we still have that, but I have more tools at my disposal. So someone going, oh no, this thing to the thing, could be 6 days of my life, where customer service goes, well, we'll just refund your money or reship, and we'll call that good, and we'll surface that up. And if we see a big portion of this, then we will bring it to Randy's attention, and then Randy will be a filter for that, and then he'll bring it to my attention if we need to solve a thing he can't solve. So that's the way the company's structured. Is basically like, you guys have any kind of a problem, it goes to customer service. If customer service says, hey, this is a bigger problem than just us, it goes up to like Zenzo Randy level usually, and warehouse manager or store manager. And then if it gets to them where they're like, we don't have a good solution, or we need to do a major change in the company to solve this, then it comes up to me as well. Because if everything just comes to me, it's like, well, Corey, how didn't you sit in all the customer service meetings and do all the things? And you made new products, right? And you made the videos, right? And you did this, right? And you did this, right? There's only literally, like, as Zenzo's been coming to work with me, he realizes, and he knew this, but there's literally only so much time in the day that I can actively work. And so, like, while I'm live streaming and Candy's been here, I've been here, but other people might have been eating dinner and doing other tasks in the business, right? But if I have to do this, and I'm doing the other live stream, and I'm putting out a piece of content, and, there's only so much. And I spent probably 4 hours working on a video yesterday, and I got maybe 10 minutes of a video done. And you're going to be like, Corey, your video's like 40 minutes. Like, yeah, it'll probably be like 16 hours, and I don't even edit them. I pay someone else to edit them. So 16 hours to make a 40-minute video, like, wait, isn't that like a third of the work week? Like, yeah, if you only work 40 hours, kind of is. Almost half. Kyle Hernandez. What's up, homie? I just finished cleaning a wall of 30 55-gallon tanks. Do you own 30 55s? Or are you working at a store that has 30 55s? 55 tacos, 55. That's just trolling my wife. All new members catch up on the exclusive members only content. Check out the Deep in the Mullen podcast. That's good recommendation right there. What do I filter my aquariums with? Mostly sponge filters, a little bit of undergravel filters, a little bit of canister filter, but 80-90% easily sponge filter for me. It would be interesting to incorporate select RPP stores to join the fulfillment process. Might help with the shipping issue if you could use some stores as mini warehouses. That's one of those things that, like, that as an idea sounds great, but as you get into the layers of it, seems impossible. Just knowing, like, well, yeah, but how are you going to split up the cargo containers, and how, like, someone places an order on the website, right? And let's just use plants as an example. Just plants. You place an order on the website. Our algorithm is going to go like, well, where do you live? Okay, it's that temperature. Where are we shipping from? Okay, it's this temperature. Do we need a liner? Do we need a heat pack? Do we need to ship it priority? Do we need to ship it 2-day priority? Do we need to ship it 5-day because it'll actually arrive in 1 day because you're also in same state? So all that's going on. And then if you're like, well, what if you add 5 more warehouses, mini warehouses? What'll happen is, by trying to check which one of those warehouses is closest and run all of those analysis, it will start to bind the system up. Because then you're going to start going for optimizations like, what's frozen over there? We don't want to ship from there. We want to ship from here. That's second closest. And you start just getting this web of stuff of like, could a thing be done? Yes. And I'll get back to this analogy I used the other week, and that was, can you build your own car from parts? Yes, you can. What does everybody do? They buy completed cars from dealerships because it's not practical to build your own car. And that's kind of that having a mini warehouse. Like, it's not a terrible idea. It's not practical when the rubber meets the road. So unless there's some big innovation or something like that, yeah, I think we just won't be able to do that. Customer service would not be, yeah, exactly. Customer service, like, oh, well, hold on, let me see what warehouse we filled that out of, and then I can try and tell that warehouse you've got a problem going on. Like, that's why we don't launch more stores too. Like, there's not enough management to manage the problems as you keep expanding, right? So we're laser focused on the few things we do, and the more things we add to it, I'm not sure we could handle it. Do I live by a regimented schedule, like wake up, phone calls, email, in a certain schedule, or just kind of wing it? I wish I could have that schedule, but basically, wake up, emails, forum, that's the first things, eat breakfast. Then it's usually meetings. And then if it's not a meeting day, it'll be like, I gotta get out to the fish room. I need to be filming or planning or working on a thing. Or it might be, hey, like, for instance, my wife, right when I went live, said, hey, you've got 2 packages from Aquarium Co-op here. One, I believe, is some foods to be testing. And then one is like my shirts and that kind of stuff. And so, like shirts, I know we need more pictures of the Freshwater is the Best Water shirt. We need some more. And so, like tomorrow I'll wake up, I will do emails and forum. Then I will work out with my personal trainer. Then I'll shower. By that time, it's now about 12:30. I will eat some lunch, and then I will start basically the rest of the day at 1 p.m. will be like, okay, am I working on a product or am I filming? I'm probably going to finish filming the project I'm trying to work on to wrap that up, to get it off to the editor. So we've got a video for next week, which we're waiting on this week's video from the editor right now. They were on vacation. That's okay. And then you go like, okay, well, that was Wednesday. What are you doing Thursday? Like, all right. Deep in the Mullen podcast. That's got to happen. So I'll wake up and I'll do emails and forum, eat breakfast. Then I'll start the Deep in the Mullen podcast. We'll do that for an hour and a half-ish. There's usually about 30 minutes of talking before and after about work stuff. So now it'll be probably 12:30 to 1, maybe grab a little bit of lunch, and then it's got that second half of the day. Like, okay, what are we working on today? And that's pretty much how every day goes for me. I have tried and I've been successful the last 3 weeks. trying to take weekends off or not have to work. That's the key, is I don't have to work the weekends. And sometimes it's like, the forum's crashing, and I'm like, ooh, I want to work on that. So I will, but I don't have to. There used to be I had to live stream on Sundays, and then I'd be so busy during the week, like I have to film on Saturday or we won't have a video. So I've gotten enough things rearranged that hopefully I don't have to work on weekends, which is good. So yeah. Last week we used USPS. This week we're trying UPS, to be continued. Yeah. People, I mean, I see it all online all the time. People are like, oh, USPS sucks in my area. And the next person says, UPS sucks in my area. And the next person says, only FedEx over here. And the next person says, only DHL over here. We have tested all of them in big quantities. Like, we're shipping 15,000 packages a month, which that's a lot, right? And so that's 500 shipments a day. We've tried all of them. You know what's in common with all of them? They all deliver at the same rate, basically. They're within, like, when you, like, USPS versus UPS, when you look at it and you're like, okay, delivery rates. Yes, this one averages 4 days. This one averages 3.9 days. And then you look at it again next month, it swapped. This one averaged 4 days. This one averaged 3.9 days. Like, so all, like, and different ones have different little strengths and they hurt other people, but, you know, oh, I'm on the West Coast, East Coast, North, South, Hawaii, Alaska, rural, not rural. They all have pros and cons, but at the end of the day, it's all just trading one set of, that sucks for, ooh, that sucks. And there's, you know, we keep trying, what we're doing right now is we're trying to eliminate the, ooh, that sucks with, well, what if we could, let's take that part that sucks and let's move that over here. Let's take that part that sucks and move it over here and try to get it to the least amount. We blend all of these carriers together into the least amount of, ooh, that sucks. That's what we've been working on. And we've been dedicated to it for weeks and weeks and weeks now. And yeah, so every week we basically just have meetings. What didn't go so well this week? All right, how can we make that better? I don't know yet. Are we going to work on it? Oh yeah, we're working on it. Cool. Let me know when we got something. And then 2 days later, it's like, okay, now it's Thursday or Friday. Hey, I think we got a breakthrough over here. Great. Let's chase down that lead and let's have it ready for the next meeting. And then we move through. So that's what we're doing. DHL from Japan to California happens in 2 to 3 days. Yeah, nice. What about DHL to like Alabama? 2 to 3 years. You know, some are hubs of the world, and then some are just like, oh, ain't nobody going there. So, yeah. I support the post office. I support them all. The reality is, when we look at numbers, they're all delivering an insane amount at pretty good ratio. What does that mean, Corey? That means, like, yeah, 99% of all packages arrive to people in a good time. And so you're like, well, what does that look like, Corey? Like, well, if you ship 500 packages a day, right? We do 500 times 0.01 for 1%. That means 5 people every day. It's like, oh, it's going to get lost in the mail. It just won't arrive or get horribly delayed. And it's like, well, sure, that's 35 a week. And that will feel like you're having a lot of problems, right? Or there's these different weather events where it's like, everything got delayed by 2 days, you know? And so you're like, well, we had 80 people have a problem this week. The reality is 80 is still a very small amount, but if you look at it on the forum or something, like, oh, everyone's having this problem. Like, no. Less than 1% or, you know, less than 2% on average would have a problem. It will feel like you're having a big problem, but the reality is like, they're doing a pretty good job. Every once in a while, you'd have someone like, you just live in the middle of nowhere and you have a specific carrier that actually is doing a terrible job and they need to be replaced. Like, that can happen, but there's no way to scale that. Look, you didn't remember? I live in Wyoming in the south part, and in this one zip code, this guy's not very good. Like, no, there's no way to optimize for that. Like all you can do is be like, hey, until we get a new one, like, I just can't order from you guys, I guess. And like, yeah, take 6 months off, and we'll see what we can do. Sorry. Yeah. Any plans to extend the co-op into Toronto in the future? Nope, no plans. Yep. Let's see. By the way, the mini fulfillment store thing, most businesses do this. It's just called a 3PL. So a third party logistic company. And like even Amazon will do that. Technically, we could have our products sit at Amazon. We could sell them on our website and they would ship out from Amazon. Not live plants, but you've got all these places. So like one move we could do is like, hey, we have a different warehouse on the West Coast that would ship our stuff. We'd have to increase our prices because it's not cheap to do that. And you wouldn't be able to get plants. So it's like a double whammy. So that's why we don't do it. But 3PL totally exists. And almost all of them have lots of problems because they tend to just have armies of people they don't pay well. They're all replaceable. It's all nearly robots. Yeah, it's not great. There's no one doing any thinking. It's just like, hey, the thing said to do the thing. I put it in the bag or I put it in the box. Like, you didn't think that was going to break though? Like, yeah. Didn't think about it. On to the next number. Seems like a large number of Washington-based fans. Yeah, I think there is. I think there's a little bit more stickiness. So if you stumble upon Aquarium Co-op, there's a lot of people like that will watch us for 3-5 months and like, wait a second, you're in Washington? I'm in Washington. And I think that becomes a little more like, oh, more tangible. Where, you know, if I'm in a different country or a different state, it's like, yeah, it's good. You don't have as much connection, right? So I think you can visit the local store and all of that. I think that definitely helps. All right. I've gone on 26 minutes longer than I had anticipated, which is cutting. I haven't fed my fish yet today, and I need to. I want to feed my fish. And, yeah, I got to open up some packages and all that. And, yeah, so buy all of our stuff. It'll get you. And if it doesn't, we'll make it right. That'll help us a lot if you buy all of our stuff. And, yeah, become members if you haven't. We'll see you in the Deep in the Mold podcast. What else? I think that's all I got. Go buy all the good fish. Keep a lookout. And when you find something cool, breed it. And then sell it or trade it or whatever. And then I'll get some. Any update when brine shrimp eggs may be back in stock? Same update as last week. Somewhere between 2 weeks and 2 years. I mean, it literally could be any day. And what I mean by that is they're on the water, they're going to arrive, and then they're going to sit at the port for somewhere between 1 and 50 days. If it's 1 day, they're going to be here real soon. If it's 50 days, oh man, you guys are going to be real pissed. And there is literally nothing we can do about it. Because they sit in a stack and they're like, oh yeah? If we started now, we could get to them in 3 days. We have to move that many containers to get to it, so we can't. So all we can do is wait, unfortunately. They've been paid for. I've spent my hundreds of thousands of dollars and in tariffs to get them for you. Don't worry. They're coming. Like, those eggs are coming. They are coming. I just can't tell you when they will be here. Yeah. All I can say is I wish they were here already. That's or as Randy would say from Deep in the Mold podcast, we've never been closer to having brine shrimp back in stock. That's a true statement. Never been closer. Today we are closer than yesterday, and tomorrow we will be closer. We will be closer than today. So, alrighty, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for supporting what we do. And let me check my messages. Nope. And my wife is saying it's almost 5:30. You might want to think about wrapping it up. I know. I'll wrap it up. Yep. Do they stay refrigerated when sitting in a port? Yes, they do. Our refrigerated containers do stay refrigerated. It's actually not refrigerated, it's frozen. They're below zero. So we pay lots of money. So hopefully, we're hoping they won't get stuck because they'll be like, we have to pay to keep them frozen. But they'll probably come up with some charge where it's like, oh no, you have to pay us. Like, if you want them to stay frozen, like, oh, do we? Thanks. So who knows? We haven't had one of those get stuck at the port yet, so it's always a learning experience. It'll be like, I'm sure it'll be like, oh, it's $10 a day. Like, oh yeah? And how many days? When we get to it. Oh, that seems fair. That seems fair. We have to pay or lose our product, and you choose when it comes out. That seems real fair. I'm sure you're trying real hard over there to get that one out first. All right, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. I appreciate it, and let's see how many more of these outros I can do. Yep, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. yeah, we got a live stream coming up next week on next Tuesday. And we got some videos coming out. So thanks for hanging out. Please buy all of our stuff. And yeah, so that's gonna do it. Thanks for coming out tonight. And yeah, buy all of our stuff. We're thinking about shipping you some stuff. So thank you. And yeah, I think next up, live stream next week. Thanks for coming out, and we'll see you next time. So go ahead and hit that like button. And ooh, I was gonna work through it, but it says right here dinner time. I will work through dinner if I don't stop, and then my wife gets angry. So yeah, thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time. And yeah, I think we got a video coming out this week. Buy all of our stuff, and yeah, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so we'll see you next time. I appreciate it. Don't forget to compliment somebody, and you know, keep your sleeves wet. Fresh water is the best water, and thanks. I appreciate you hanging out. So thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time. And yeah, 665 viewers in for this. I think they came just to see me do 2 hours of outros, and Candy's probably like waiting to go to the bathroom and make dinner, and here I am just stalling this out. Like, yep, and thanks for coming out. Please buy all of our stuff, and we'll do another live stream. Thanks for hanging out. It's almost 7:30, and yeah, we'll see you around. All right, thank you. Oh yeah. Oh, and another membership came in. Thank you, Casey. But that's, you know, please become a member, buy all of our stuff, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep, it's about time. I gotta go. Dinner's ready, I'm told, so gotta go.